Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. We are once again going to be covering cosmic clown extraordinaire David Wilcock and his latest treasure trove of bullshittery. I just wanted to mention that it's very clear to me that I believe, I think others have mentioned this as well, that Mr. Wilcock likes to do 3 and 4 hour long stream fests. I believe that there's one reason that he does that is to prevent people like me from covering the treasure trove of bullshit that he talks about for 3 hours straight. You just can't get through that much bullshit. Previously, we covered his last stream, and I was going to go through the whole 3 hours. I gave up 40 minutes in. But I had some time to think about what way to best cover this clown. And I think I stumbled on it, and that is for me to listen to it, timestamp the very best of the bullshit, and then we'll cover the highlights of the bullshittery. You know, I don't think it's very beneficial to just spend 3 hours going through everything he says and picking apart his bullshit, even though you can. I think it's best to take the highlights, you know, the very best of the David Wilcock bullshit and break it down. My favorite from the last stream was the new kind of nuclear weapon, apparently, that's been developed that doesn't blow things up, but shrinks them. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. This is fucking ridiculous. And the fact that there are stupid people sending this guy thousands of dollars in super chat donations the entire time he's sitting there giving them lies, bullshit, and fairy tales is amazing to me. Now, I do want to mention something. In this latest stream, it appears that Mr. Wilcock really has been watching our show because he's become a lot more cautious now. And in the latest live stream, he doesn't really offer his own bullshit. Instead, he just regurgitates every stupid letter of the alphabet conspiracy theory going around right now. Every Trump train idiot that's posted on Parler, he's going to show you what they're saying, right? About all kinds of stuff. The Pope got arrested. Mike Pence got a Masonic coin, right? And it's all just garbage. Regurgitated garbage from the internet. That's the gist of covering his latest stream. There's nothing original here, right? He circles back to a few of his favorite talking points, right? Like the mass arrests, they're still coming any minute. But then he talks about this idea that the global, you know, if everybody around the world just meditated, war and famine and everything would disappear and crime would go down. That's false. And then he even says, this is indisputable, but I dispute it. David Wilcock, you fucking dummy. There's no scientific studies. You're not citing any scholarly papers that prove what you're saying about mass meditations lowering war and crime and famine are real. That is propaganda put out by a meditation organization. And you ran with it because you're fucking stupid. I can't believe that he said, this is indisputable. I dispute it. David Wilcock, debate me on this so-called Maharishi effect. Because I've got scholarly articles that prove that it's fake. I've got scholarly articles that prove that it doesn't work, that they fudge the numbers to promote their meditation organization. You dumbass. Most of David Wilcock's latest live stream is just regurgitated garbage from Parler and Twitter and Facebook and wherever he can find bullshit that would seem to indicate that you should trust the scam and Donald Trump's still going to be president on January 20th. One thing very worthy of note is in his last live stream and in this live stream, he says Joe Biden will not be inaugurated on January 20th. This is a big, bold claim, and I'm sorry. That's the elected president. What do you think is going to happen on January 20th? But there's still these hopeful idiots running around there going, no, they stole laptops when they did the Capitol raid, and there's where the evidence is going to come from that's going to keep Trump in office. You know, all that fraud evidence, it's all going to come out. You got to trust the plan. It was a setup. They knew this was going to happen. That's why they stormed the. It's bullshit. Grade A bullshit, but still bullshit. Unproven speculation from stupid people on the internet is not proof, David Wilcock. And he's using all of these discredited, ridiculous sources. And we've talked about this before. David Wilcock uses anything as a source that supports whatever he's trying to argue about being real. You know, like Hal Turner, right? White supremacist, Holocaust denying convicted felon. He cited him in his last stream, saying that the 50,000, the stuff that he talks about is so fucking ridiculous. In the last stream, he said that 50,000 Chinese troops tried to invade the United States from Canada, and then we dropped a bunker-busting bomb on them. That came from a white supremacist, Holocaust-denying, convicted felon, and that was the only source of that story. But David Wilcock ran with it because he's a dumbass. Now he's quoting everybody. Lynn Wood, Robert David Steele, right? Anybody on the internet writing this letter of the alphabet conspiracy bullshit, he's regurgitating. And I just got to say, this is a problem. We've got everybody in conspiracy land, from Robert David Steele to Simon Parks. By the way, on Simon Parks' latest live stream, I'm sorry, the one from the 10th, called like Updates for the 10th, Simon Parks literally says that he's hosting kiddie porn, you know, proof that Hunter Biden is a pedophile. That's why he's hosting it. But he's hosting kiddie porn on his website, but it's okay because he put it in something called the dark corner of his website. So it's perfectly okay to host kiddie porn if you're just trying to prove that Hunter Biden is a pedophile. Hey, Simon Parks, you asshole. You can't host kiddie porn on your website, you dumbass. And you don't go on a fucking public live stream and tell the world that you're hosting kiddie porn on your website. But this is what we've devolved into. This letter of the alphabet conspiracy train, crazy train, is just going to keep going, right? I kept thinking, like, after the election, this letter of the alphabet conspiracy shit is over. Everybody's going to know it was fake, and a lot of people have woken up, right? We're seeing these posts where people are saying, and they're still holding on to it, saying stupid shit like, well, yeah, Q was fake, but at least it brought us all together. Okay. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This letter of the alphabet conspiracy bunch of idiots are idiots. Even their slogan tells you who they are. Where we go one, we go all. You know who else does that? Sheep. Sheep do that. You dummies. Sheep do that. So we've got Kerry Cassidy, Robert David Steele. I haven't checked in, but I'm pretty sure Jordan Sather's probably still pushing this letter of the alphabet nonsense conspiracy thing. They are going to push this thing right off the fucking cliff, right? I thought after the election it'd be over, but it wasn't. Then I thought, all right, after January 6th, when they certify the election, right, when they count the electoral college votes in the Senate and the House, then it's got to be. No, it's still not over. It's still trust the scam. Trust the scam. All these things are happening behind the scenes. And now Italy is somehow got caught interfering in our. Why the fuck would a nation state that is friendly to us interfere in our election? Why would they do? They would cause an international incident. They could cause a war between themselves and the United States if they did that. They would lose all the benefits of being a friendly state to the United States. You dummies. At least pick, like, say it was Iran, right, with your bullshit, or say it was like China or you know, South Korea, right? Say something. Say it was Al Qaeda interfered with our election. Something that's believable. But Italy? And Wilcock is also, and these clowns are going on to state all kinds of unproven, factually inaccurate things, just trying to pump some hope into people that Trump's still going to somehow pull it out and get another 4 years. It's not going to happen. You're fucking delusional. All of you idiots pushing this idiot conspiracy nonsense, you're all delusional. And I just want to say, for the purpose of Google, YouTube, and the algorithm, we here are not supporting or sharing or saying that these ridiculous theories are true. We are debunking them, saying they are ridiculous, proving to people how ridiculous they are, and we're making fun of them. And if the algorithm can't tell the difference, then please God, let somebody from YouTube watch my video and prevent me from getting stricken down by the YouTube AI algorithm gods. Praise the AI algorithm gods of YouTube. We are not supporting these theories. We agree with you. We are telling people these theories are stupid and ridiculous. Please do not strike us down, AI algorithm gods. All right, I said my daily prayer to the AI algorithm gods, and that's all I can do, friends. There's no people, right? They're just keywords, and you're stricken down. Your whole channel could get deleted for even mentioning some of these things, right? I also found it interesting that Mr. Wilcock is so paranoid about his channel getting taken away, because then he's going to lose those thousands and thousands of dollars in super chat donations he gets for every stream full of fairy tales, that he is talking in code to the point of ridiculousness. Like the D's and the DS and the letter of the alphabet said that the D's and the DS, they tried to R the E, and come on. If David Wilcock, if you believe that what you're saying is true, then say it. Don't be a pussy trying to preserve your super chat donations, you pussy. Don't be a pussy, David Wilcock. Don't speak in code. Tell us what the fuck you're talking. I can't even make sense of some of the shit he's talking about. Well, there's this organization and it rhymes with scram, and you know what I'm talking about. No, I don't, because you're talking like a fucking 5-year-old in code on a playground, right? Trying to play secret agent or something. It's ridiculous. Now, all these assholes, I mentioned a few of them: Simon Parks, Robert David Steele. Let's see, we got Crazy Carrie Cassidy. We've got David Wilcock. Are all running around pushing these same conspiracies, right? And they go something like this: trust the scam. It's all been a setup. 5D chess. Trump's 5 moves ahead of him. He knew what was going to happen this whole time. He knew they were going to rig the election, so he set them all up so he could get all the evidence, and he's got all the evidence, even though we haven't seen most of it. And yeah, friends, there is fraud in every system in America. It's true. So I sort of disagree with people running around saying there's no evidence. Of course, there's always going to be evidence. Is it credible evidence? Does it rise to the level of a huge conspiracy orchestrated by lots of different people, some shadow government behind the scenes, some deep state trying to take the election away from Donald Trump? No, it doesn't rise to the level of some grand conspiracy designed to put Joe Biden in office. But it's enticing for people who don't like Biden or the left to believe this shit. And so that's what they're selling you. All of these guys are running around, and they are all just selling people hope, right? But don't worry, Biden's not going to be president. Yeah, he is, you dumbass. Listen, David Wilcock said on his last stream and this stream that Biden will not be inaugurated on January 20th. So I just want to announce in advance, on the night of January 20th, or maybe on the 21st, I'm going to be hosting a Biden got inaugurated and David Wilcock was wrong party. And David Wilcock can suck a dick, because he's going to be wrong, just like he was wrong about everything he talks about. All right, friends. I have been sort of reconnecting to conspiracy land, putting my tentacles out there, listening to the bullshit. listening to the con artists and the grifters, right? And the donate to me scam club, right? Trust the scam. And they're all saying the same thing. They're all regurgitating the same bunch of nonsense. And David Wilcock is no different. In fact, it's gotten so bad, friends. It's gotten so bad with these idiots out there regurgitating this letter of the alphabet nonsense, even though there hasn't been a drop in, 35, 40 days? Because I think even the letter of the alphabet guy that was making those drops gave up. He was like, fuck, we can't pull this out. This is all bullshit, and everybody knows it now. It's so bad that even the most conspiratorial of conspiracy theorists are saying this is bullshit, right? Alex Jones is so sick of this conspiracy letter of the alphabet, he lost his shit live on air and started yelling at a caller that it's all fake. And just to keep things light here, we're going to share that. Let's see what Alex Jones has to say about this letter of the alphabet, friends.
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks. They're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Oh, there's energy and oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why every goddamn thing out of your people's mouths doesn't come true. You said it was all over. You tells the stuff. You. Oh, God. Witches and warlocks, you're full of shit. Pumpkin popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of it's lies. Because you're lying. That's why.
So there's the take on this conspiracy letter of the alphabet and what people think. Even Alex Jones is calling these people out, saying, you're a bunch of idiots. None of this shit ever comes true. I'm kind of surprised that Alex Jones was never. He really never was on that train of that letter of the alphabet, right? Maybe he's a little smarter than people give him credit for and knew that it was all bullshit. I don't know. But I've got some timestamps of David Wilcock's latest data dump full of bullshit, and we're going to go through some of that stuff. Yeah, I have the timestamps, but you're going to have to bear with me here, friends. 1 second. Let me pull it up. And while I'm doing that, I want to take a moment just to mention that this is the first live stream from the new computer running the live stream, which is an iMac. I discovered that iMacs, I'm visually impaired, and I discovered almost by accident because I've never been a Mac guy, but I happened to get an iMac, and I was like, holy geez, I can see this screen better than any of my PC screens. And I didn't understand why. It's been explained to me they have higher dot pitch. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the glass in front of it, or that's anti-glare, but it really does help with my vision situation. So I wanted to get a cheaper, older iMac, and I've been able to do that thanks to the generosity and support of our Patreon people and PayPal donators. Thank you so much. It has made, this is the first one, and I'm already like, geez, I can see everything so clear, and I don't have to magnify things, and like, it's really been beneficial to me to be able to have this. And I might not have had the funds to do it. In fact, I'm sure I wouldn't have had the funds to do it if not for the kindness, the generosity, and the support of you guys on Patreon and PayPal. So thank you very much. You have my thanks. And by the way, why is it that David Wilcock gets thousands and thousands of dollars in Super Chat donations every time he streams live? He doesn't read any of the Super Chat donations. He doesn't take questions from the live chat. And he never thanks anybody for donating thousands of dollars to him so he can live in a millionaire's lifestyle, living in $1 million mansion, selling people fairy tales, nonsense, and bullshit. I've never heard him thank a donator once. And he gets thousands of dollars. I thank every single person by name that donates anything. You could donate a penny to me, and I'll give you a shout out and thank you for being a donator and supporter of our show. See, that's the difference between having an attitude of gratitude and having a selfish, entitled attitude, like the spoiled rich boy that's never worked a day in his life that he is. He's not grateful for you people donating money to him. He just expects you to, because he's famous, right? Famous asshole. All right. I'm gonna put up our fair use banner. And by the way, I always caution this, but I'm cautioning it again to say, David Wilcock, don't you dare privacy strike me. I am well within my legal rights to share your live stream. After all, you're a public figure. It's a public YouTube video. We're going to be discussing and critiquing it along with people in the live chat. If you have, listen, while this video is playing, please help me to make this a transformative work. While this video of Mr. Wilcock is playing, feel free to comment in the live chat. Do it in all caps so I know that you want your comment added to the screen, and you'll help me to critique this bunch of fairy tale nonsense. We're real big on audience participation. Just please be sure to put your comments. If you want me to share them on the live on the screen here, put them in all caps so that I know that's your intention, and I will certainly do that. This is a transformative work. We're going to educate the public about the nonsense bullshittery that David Wilcock is running around selling while taking donations for it. We're critiquing the video we're sharing, and this is covered under fair use. So David Wilcock, don't you dare copyright strike me. I have a lawyer letter standing by that is 10 for 10. In other words, my lawyer's letter is so good at defending against false copyright claims that so far we've had copyright claims 10 times. We file our letter and we won 10 out of 10 times. So go ahead, waste your time. This is fair use. You're not allowed to copyright strike me unfairly. That could be legal problems if you do that. Just a fair warning, Mr. Wilcock, because Mr. Wilcock doesn't want anybody sharing his videos and talking about how ridiculous the garbage that is coming out of his fake teeth is, right? He lies through his fake fucking teeth. That's what he does. We show people that. He doesn't like us showing people that. So we're gonna share the screen here. I'm gonna share his video. It's called David Wilcock, Global Peace Meditation, Joan of Arc and the Hero's Journey. And I just want to say that he spends about zero time talking about the Global Peace Meditation out of 3 hours or Joan of Arc or any of that that's in the title. And in the video, he basically says that he's trying to evade YouTube's terms of service by not putting the conspiracy garbage he's really talking about in his video title, right? He's telling YouTube how he's purposely trying to avoid getting stricken for talking about these ridiculous subjects. He doesn't put them in the title on purpose, and that's so he doesn't get his channel taken down. Not a very wise move, David Wilcock. You're not smart enough to play this game. So here we go, friends. All right, I'm going to try to share this. So here he is. You know, sharing, it's all regurgitated nonsense, but here we go.
And he's, as if it's all over. Oh, JB is certifiable. That's the end, folks. It's all over. And then our friend, the attorney.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Mr. Wood said, and this is now on his alternative platform, which is about to go up in smoke in like 3 hours.
Sorry, friends.
Never again will anybody be able to.
I had the settings, the quality settings real low.
This. Or want to, because Amazon's just canceled it, and it's gonna take them a week to rebuild the thing. So this is gone as of tonight. So I'm taking pictures of everything as we go. You got to be really fast to stay on top of all this. Good afternoon. I am hearing rumors that P and leaders of the C are planning to arrest and even ex-president and his followers. I hope you can read that.
Well, we have to read it because you're too cowardly to, right? You got to talk in code because you know that you're not allowed to say these things on YouTube, right? Most likely that would be against their terms of service because you're spreading disinformation, knowingly spreading unfactual, unproven disinformation. But you're still doing it in violation of their terms of service. You're just going to, not say the words.
Typical move by commie tyrants. They will never do it, as 80M plus patriots would react, and it would not end well for the commies. But just in case they try, I have my escape pod gassed up and ready, and this is a car that he says only goes 40 miles an hour or something. So he's being funny. But anyway,
it's not funny. This is some of the dangerous rhetoric that caused the assault on our Capitol. This is some of the dangerous rhetoric that idiots like this guy are spreading, and even bigger idiots, in my view, are the people that help guys like this spread this false, factually inaccurate information. And it riles up people, gets people angry, and it causes violence. And you're spreading it while you're running a fucking live stream titled Global Peace Meditation. You are spreading dangerous, untrue, factually inaccurate information that is intended to incite violence. Congratulations, dummy. What a fucking hypocrite.
Anyway, the point again is that they're trying to arrest and execute, and it's just crazy. Then he comes out with this. Right after the VP is walking off the podium, the very first person he meets after he's certified that this thing is going through, or so they think it's going through. Here's this guy who you'll notice is not really wearing his mask. Ooh, bad boy. I can see the tip of your nose there. And he's talking to the VP, and he hands him this coin. And it is clearly a gold coin inside a plastic case. And if you've ever seen any of the 3 John Wick movies, they talk about these coins being basic, kind of like a...
Hey, David Wilcock, John Wick is a fictional movie. It's a fictional movie, right? Is this kind of like how you lift stuff from Stargate and Doctor Who and Star Trek and say it's real, or that Star Wars is really a documentary?
Like a token or like a payment in this weird group that clearly whoever's doing John Wick knows something about it. Gold coin also appears on the movie poster for our movie Above Majestic.
Well, that's full of shit, that movie. So it would kind of stand to reason that you would tack a ridiculous, unproven, factually inaccurate conspiracy theory of Mike. This is the theory. Mike Pence got a payment from the Freemasons for selling out Trump in the form of a gold coin. And then people are somehow equating Mike Pence to Judas, right? He got his 40 pieces of silver. Well, Mike Pence didn't get 40 pieces of silver. He got a gold coin, right? But listen, friends, this is how easy this conspiracy land garbage nonsense is to debunk. It's so easy to debunk this, right? But does Mr. Wilcock do any work to check his sources to see if this is accurate information before running to the internet and spreading factually inaccurate, dangerous conspiracy land nonsense information, again, designed to rile people up, anger people, and incite violence? Of course he doesn't do that. If he had done that, he would have found out that there's a very reasonable explanation for what happened when another member of Congress came up to Mr. Pence and gave him a coin. So I didn't know what to do to try to prove or disprove this theory. So here's what I did. I called Washington, D.C., and I tried to get a hold of somebody from Pence's office to find out more about this coin that he was given, right? I didn't get a call back. Imagine that, right? And I got up early this morning to make those calls. So, they have a media person, the vice president has a media person, left several messages. I did speak to someone directly on the phone who said that they were going to check on it and get back to me. And they're usually pretty good with public information requests. So I have a feeling they may get back to me. They're a little busy right now. And I don't think that Mike Pence's office has a lot of time to deal with conspiracy land nonsense with the Freemason, with the claim that the Freemasons paid him off to betray Trump and all of this nonsense. And he got a gold coin and a Freemason handshake. No, friends, that's not what it was. So I started making other calls, and I happened to get a hold of my home senator. One of my home senators is Pat Toomey for Pennsylvania, and he's got a chief of staff by the name of Dan Brandt. So I called Dan Brandt's office and spoke with a very kind woman there, an aide to Dan Brandt, who said, yeah, we heard something about this. Let me check on it and get back to you. And just a few hours ago, someone called me back from Dan Brandt's office. Dan Brandt is the chief of staff for Senator Toomey. And what I was told is that the coin that he was given, Mike Pence, was a commemorative Donald Trump gold coin. And listen, Occam's razor, David Wilcock, is it more likely that a fellow senator gave Mr. Pence a commemorative Donald Trump gold coin? And by the way, there are tons of people making commemorative Donald Trump gold coins that have nothing to do, it's not spendable, right? It's not spendable, currency. It's just something for people to hang on their wall and remember when Donald Trump was president, right? And I'm going to drop out of this, and we're going to share another screen just to display to you. Here, all I did was Google Donald Trump gold coin, and there are hundreds, thousands of Donald Trump gold coins that you could buy. Look at this. All these companies are making commemorative Donald Trump gold coins, right? And yeah, they come. Look, they come in a plastic sheeting, right? It's ridiculous. Look at this one. Keep Russia great commemorative challenge. I don't think that is the gold coin that people wanted, right? Okay. Yeah, so this is what I was told from a real senator's office that they asked around, and Mike Pence apparently was given by this other senator a commemorative Donald Trump gold coin. And listen, it stands to reason. It's Occam's razor. Is it more likely that a fellow senator wanted to take that opportunity to give Mr. Pence a gift, right? Maybe a keepsake of the day. Here's a Donald Trump commemorative gold coin. Or that the Freemasons were paying off Mike Pence for betraying Donald Trump. This is how easy it is to disprove the ridiculous nonsense conspiracy theories that David Wilcock runs with. It's that easy. A couple of phone calls, David Wilcock. Why did I have to make the couple of phone calls? I'm not accepting thousands of dollars of super chat donations while I'm spreading ridiculous, false, factually inaccurate conspiracy theories. You are. The burden of proof is on you, but you never prove any of this shit. You just run with it and expect people to send you free money. All right. We're going to take some comments from the live chat. It's so obvious which Wilcock donations are money laundering. There are amounts over $100 from fake anon accounts. They use the same verbiage in the super chat. Not smart. Many people have suggested that Mr. Wilcock's, I have to lower this. Sorry, friends. We just said, I don't want to lower it too much or you'll see my junk in the background. But I got to keep myself high so that the comments don't cover me. Yeah, so many people have mentioned that there's some kind of money laundering scam going on with David Wilcock super chat donations and his so-called charity. We'll know more when we get the financial documents, and you got to trust me, friends. I'm going to get them, and we're going to share them here. Genocide says, I have a challenge gold coin from a book series, Monster Hunter International, in a plastic bag. Yeah, so it's very common that these gold coins exist, right? 1 second, friends. There we go. I'm a little OCD, and that edge shell was bothering me, right? It was bothering me. So, look, a couple of phone calls, and Wilcock is fact-checked. To be totally wrong there. Now, I'm going to try to find more sources that will support what I was told today, that was a Donald Trump commemorative gold coin that somebody gave Pence, just so we could be 100% sure. I like 2 or 3 sources. I tried, I called some other senator's office, and one of them hung up on me like, what are you asking? You know, here's how these phone calls go, friends, just so you know. Hi, my name is Steven, and I run a show on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook Live called Truthseekers. And we're trying to fact check David Wilcock. And then they go, who's David Wilcock? And they go, that blonde guy from Ancient Aliens, the show on the History Channel. And then they go, oh yeah, I think I've seen him. And then I go, he's saying that Mike Pence got paid off by the Freemasons and the Illuminati in the form of a gold coin for betraying Trump and selling out the Republic. Can you confirm or deny that that was a payment from the Freemasons that Mike Pence got? And then if they don't hang up on me, they laugh. Some of them play along and they go, I'm going to have to check. One person did call me back and say, I asked around and nobody knows anything about this gold coin thing. But again, one good source called me back and said, no, it was somebody giving Pence a gift of a commemorative Trump gold coin. So, you know, but it is what it is. This is what I got to do. This is kind of like when I had to try to call dentist's office in Paradise, California, and find out if they were trained to work on the aliens' teeth like David Wilcock said they were. It's laughable to try to fact check this guy, but it's fun sometimes. And so today I spent some time doing that. Now, friends, we're gonna get back in to the treasure trove of bullshit. Here we go.
And he's holding the coin, right? So you might have seen that.
He's holding the coin. It's a Trump gold coin, you dumbass. I'm going to see if I can't get that image enhanced so that we can prove it that way, too. Fuck this conspiracy land nonsense, David Wilcock. We have the truth on our side, or we're at least willing to go and try to get it for people before we run with a fake story. He doesn't check any of this shit. He just runs with this shit.
I watched the video. I showed it to Elizabeth. Do you want to say something about this real quick? How did you feel when I showed you this movie? It was so crazy.
It was pretty interesting. There was definitely some sort of good old boys club thing there. And then Nancy Pelosi with the elbow. So
we're not saying names, but yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he's so paranoid of losing his channel, he doesn't even want to say senators' names because he's a coward. If he really believed any of this shit, he would just say things. But he's not, because he's a coward and he's trying to preserve his con and his grift for as long as possible. Keep those super chat donations, speaking code, speaking tongues.
Some insider thing.
You got to learn the code.
Sorry, I'm green here.
It's an outrage. It's shocking. So back to the slide again. It says here, blankety blank receives strange coin after certifying the fraudulent. Okay. So then this happened on the 8th, and a lot of people got really upset because General F appeared to be throwing in the towel. And this is what he actually tweeted right before he lost all access to his account, by the way.
No, he's realizing that the game is over. There's no path to victory, and he's doing the right thing and acknowledging that because he's not an idiot like you people. And by the way, I just wanted to say, this news site that he sorted is, a right-leaning rag. It's not a good news source, right? Breaking news. Pence received strange coin after certifying fraudulent election. That's a factually inaccurate statement. The election was never proven to be anything but legitimate.
Okay, just like everybody else, Powell and Wood and POTUS and everybody just lost. It's the final purge, right? This sounds pretty sad and scary, like it's all over. America fought a good fight.
It is all over, you dummy.
We'll get through this difficult time. Acting responsibly at this moment is what all Americans must do. Well, that's important. That means don't go out there and act like a fool. Don't go, doing anything violent. Please stay inside and let this all play out the way it needs to play out with the guys that are playing it out, okay? And that means the good guys, I'm saying, in this case. We've talked about this a bunch. During the past 4 tough years, I found faith, family, and true friends were my foundation. God bless America. And then notice all the people that he's, linking to, and then he responds to his own tweet where he quotes Deuteronomy 6:4-9, and then he says, despite the crisis, a sense of unity and patriotism affords America a common mission and increased opportunities. So this is January the 8th, 9:43 a.m., right before it all got knocked off.
And by the way, he's mentioning Flynn here, and many of these other conspiracy land idiots are mentioning Flynn. And they're claiming that when Trump said there's going to be a new administration, it's because he's going to fire that traitor Pence and he's going to hire General Flynn as his new vice president. I don't even know if that's legally possible since people voted for, even if things got overturned, because people voted for both the president and the vice president. I don't think that, I'm not sure. I got to check with somebody that I know that knows more about politics than me. Can the president fire the vice president and just hire whoever he wants to be the vice president? I don't know. I have to check into that.
So then this all starts to happen. And now we're up to the 10th.
Now we're going to get into the Vatican. And this is where it gets good, friends, because, you know, the Pope got arrested, according to idiot David Wilcock.
It actually does turn out that blackouts have occurred. And I probably don't even want to say that word either.
Yeah, and he's using the fact that some blackouts have occurred randomly somewhere in the world as proof that what he's saying is accurate and true information. Hey, dummy, blackouts happen all over the world all the time for various reasons. It doesn't mean there's some grand conspiracy that you can prove. It just means that the power went out in some place.
In Italy, in Pakistan, and in Germany. And the one in Italy apparently was 8 hours long. So then there's this video where you see the seagulls fly off, and you can hear, if you really turn it up, you can hear some sounds. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's any type of shots or what.
He doesn't know if it's shots, but he's going to share the story saying that it's shots.
But there's this rumor going around. We have not confirmed this, but it appears that during an 8-hour blackout in this particular country, that arrests have already happened, maybe even including the pontiff himself.
Arrest. Oh, here come the mass arrests that David Wilcock always promises. But he never said that it would be in Rome and it would be the Pope being arrested. But now he's going to claim that he was right about those mass arrests all along. But we have no actual, real, factual, verifiable evidence that there was any arrests at the Vatican, right?
And then that's what was going on during the blackout, which is exactly what we told you. Notice the theme here. I'm not trying to play I told you so too much. But we told you that there would be a blackout.
Yeah, and you said some time ago that there would be an internet blackout, not a power blackout, right? See how he uses wordplay and our neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, to try to connect the dots and prove people that he's got superpowers. Look at him. He looks like he's going to cry here because he knows he's lying through his fake fucking teeth. He didn't predict any of this. He is the world's worst psychic. He's batting zero. Everything he talks about turns out to be bullshit.
And so if this turns out to be right, which I don't know yet, okay?
If you don't know if it's accurate information, why are you sharing it to, I don't know, thousands of people on the internet? You're the one claiming that you had 23,000 live viewers, right? You must have turned up the bot farm for this stream.
But if you've got that affidavit from that whistleblower, and that they've laid out the whole thing, that it was a defense contractor, that it was involving the former PM of this particular country.
None of the information he's talking about now is accurate. It came from, let's just say, less than scrutable sources on Parler and the Alphabet Conspiracy people left on Twitter, the few that are left, and Facebook, social media posts, and Conspiracy Land posts with fake information about all of these events that no one can verify outside of crazy people on the internet.
And that $400 million was involved in paying for this, and they've tracked it all, and they know, and the whistleblowers have come forward. The guy that I showed you a picture of, who's now a whistleblower, said he personally uploaded the software that did this.
Why can't he show us the facts and the evidence here? It's because he knows it's bullshit, friends. It's bullshit. It's just conspiracy land regurgitated nonsense that people are spreading all over conspiracy land in the internet. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. Nothing factual, nothing real, nothing verifiable. You can call the Italian embassy and try to check on these things. I haven't done it yet, but I can, and prove that it's all fake and nonsense. Did he take the time to do that before running to his followers with this fake hopium garbage? Of course not. Of course not. He just ran with fake stories again.
Okay, it's unbelievable. So they found the critical piece. And again, it happened on Christmas Eve. That's when everybody on the inside found out, or at least the top guy found out. Okay. So here's another thing that happened, you know, as all these blackouts are starting to happen. And I believe all of this is today. I think everything we're going to read now he's done it today. A great deal of evidence deals with P and child ST. Laws provide it from being transmitted online, so the evidence can only be brought to light in court, and that would be under seal, meaning most people would not be seeing it.
Again, Linwood, really?
Would see it.
That's your source?
Authorized to see it. I wouldn't want to be one of them. You will also be shown evidence at the proper time and through proper channels about the conclusive evidence of EF and acts of T by many against our country. But notice what he said. At the proper time and through proper channels.
Yeah, it's coming. The evidence is coming. The evidence has been coming for months now, right? It never comes. It never turns out to be factual. It never turns out to be real. And even people that I know that are staunch right-wing conservative Republicans are saying that Linwood lost his fucking mind, right? He's having like a mental breakdown online. First of all, it's the worst thing in the world to, you know, accuse someone of pedophilia and sex trafficking. But that hasn't stopped Linwood, right? And the evidence is coming. The evidence is coming any day now, friends.
About conclusive evidence.
And isn't it funny how all of this stuff goes back to this whole, you know, reptilian, satanic pedophile elite that are really running the world, and they're trafficking children and harvesting them for adrenochrome. And, you know, it all comes back to the same root source, which is bullshit, right? The Ike conspiracies, Wilcock's been spreading this shit forever. We never get to the part where we find the proof of this grand conspiracy being real, true, factual, or verifiable. We just keep hearing that the evidence is coming. Trust the scam. The evidence is coming, but it never comes.
Evidence. That might not be the first thing we get, folks. The first thing we get, according to the General McInerney, right? If you remember that one, the first thing apparently we're going to get is an arrest of Nancy herself. And they're saying it could happen as early as tomorrow. But of course, the fact that this is being broadcast publicly means it's probably not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but I'm going to say it's going to happen anyway. Again, he talks out of the side of his mouth. He did this in the last stream. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And by the way, this stream was broadcast last night, and he said that Pelosi would be arrested today. I just checked with major news sources and some minor news sources just to make sure. And so far, Pelosi's not been arrested for anything at all. So again, more hopium tomorrow. Nancy Pelosi's all coming to a head. Trust the scam. Nancy Pelosi's going to be arrested tomorrow. But David Wilcock, it is tomorrow. And she wasn't arrested because you're a fucking idiot for believing this shit. And you're an even bigger idiot for spreading this shit to thousands or maybe tens of thousands of more people.
It either won't happen, or it'll be late, or there's going to be something else that goes down. So again, you got to understand, folks, the plans change every hour or every minute sometimes. We don't really know anything. But
that's the first time I've agreed with David Wilcock. Did you hear what he just said? He just said, we don't really know anything. Then why are you talking about this shit for 3 hours? Again, here is his subconscious mind feeling guilty, right? Every once in a while, his subconscious mind knowing that all he does is lie to people and spread fake information. Every once in a while, the guilt and the negative feelings in his subconscious mind become too much, and they break through into his conscious mind while he's speaking, and he dropped some real truth. And that's what just happened here. We don't really know anything.
But wouldn't it be something if this is all getting ready to go really, really big here? So check this out. Let's go back to the slide. So at the proper time and through proper channels, you will see this evidence, but it might not happen first. There will be other stuff that happens first. It will awaken everyone, and they will demand these arrests. Perhaps most shocking will be the masterful actions of the president in ridding our country of debtor state status. Our financial system is a paper F. Time for bankruptcy and a fresh start. Just think, no more income taxes. Good time to own gold, silver, land, etc. Real assets versus paper. It is 1776 again. Stay tuned. Whoa. And some of his tweets on this platform have now already been taken down, and the whole thing's going down at midnight tonight. This is also extremely exciting, folks, and this just came out today. Already had 93,000 views when I took a picture of it. Over the next 10 to 14 days. Well, wait a minute. Okay, stop right there. First of all, today's the 10th. Everybody's been acting as if like the 20th is the final deadline, right? Oh my God, that's the day it happens. That's the day. Wait a minute. He said over the next 10 to 14 days. If today's the 10th, then the 10-day window goes right up to the 20th, but it also goes all the way out to the 24th. Therefore, one would reason that probably the 20th is not going to happen. I would imagine that there will be so much evidence that comes to light in a way that probably involves this emergency system or some other method. I think there's some surprises coming. I do. I'm very excited about it. But no matter what, we're going to get some really, really good stuff here. The people are going to want, they're going to, it doesn't matter what political party you are, or even if you hated this guy for the
Sorry about that, folks. I cough muted myself. So what he's saying here is, and thank you to somebody who texted me. So now I got to pay attention to the cough button a little better. This is a live show. You get it, warts and all these things are going to happen. Thanks for somebody. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Bailey Strummer and Jonaside and others. And Ryan Gable is here. Nice, Ryan Gable. Nice to see you. Ryan Gable from The Secret Teachings. You got to come back, and we're going to do a show together again on this clown. That would be fun, Ryan Gable. Get in my inbox. Let's do it. Maybe for the next one. Michael says, fuck David Wilcock. He's a lying piece of shit who better not show his face at any convention on the West Coast. Ooh. Well, we don't support or condone any type of threats or things like that. 1 second, friends. Is this somebody? No, somebody ended the call. They were trying to call in to tell me that my mic was muted. And thank you. I'm a terrible show host sometimes, and I need your help. So I'm thankful to have that. So we don't support or condone any sort of threats or intimidation. I think everybody deserves the right to speak, but we should have the right to. We should have the right to critique what they're saying. And Wilcock famously won't even do a speech at a convention if there's anyone that may be critical of his bullshit, you know? Oh, V just crank called me. There you go. No, thank you. I appreciate it. But we're all good. Oh, okay. Or that was out of mind. All right, good. Yeah, so we're good. Let's go back to the bullshit coverage here.
For the last 5 years, and you bought in everything the media was saying. This is so crazy. It's so evil. It's so weird. It's so dastardly. Nobody's going to want to go along with this. And that really is a very important point.
Yeah, so the general conspiracy theory is that all of this pedophilia stuff is going to come out right before the 20th. That's going to include Mr. Biden and his family and all these wealthy elite people and the people that try to steal things from Donald Trump. And so Trump is going to be able to stay in office for another 4 years. David Wilcock is saying that Joe Biden will not be inaugurated on the 20th. He said it in his previous stream. He's saying it here. The 20th is probably not going to happen for Biden. Okay.
I am going to talk about Joan of Arc, by the way. We're going to get to that, why that's important, why that's in the title. Okay, so hang in there with me. Okay, so let's go back to the slide now. Over the next 10 to 14 days, you will learn shocking information about many of our government officials and wealthy elite. Child ST and P are the worldwide pandemic.
Now, see, here's where things get dicey and dangerous. There is certainly real child sex trafficking rings and pedophilia all over the world. They take a tiny nugget of truth and then they expand on it with their bullshit. That's what's dangerous about these sort of things. And isn't it funny? Look at this. Revelations will relate to Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Chief Justice John Roberts, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Mike Pence, Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, and thousands more. All of these are enemies of the Trump-trained people. Isn't that a coincidence that all these enemies of the Trump-trained people are suddenly the revelations are going to come out? Is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
Revelations will relate to JB, BO.
He won't even say their names.
John, HC, Nancy P, Mike P, Jeffrey E, BG, and thousands more. Thousands more. I have seen the evidence. It is conclusive. This truly is the battle between good and evil.
All right, so one crackpot right-wing nut job says he saw the evidence. Well, where's the fucking evidence then, David Wilcock? Show us the evidence. If you've got a source with the evidence, where's the fucking evidence? But we never get it. We never get the evidence. We get promised that the evidence is coming any day now. And they do this time and time again.
Now, please bear in mind that when an attorney who specializes in defamation, in case, I know it very well, right? Elizabeth and I both are very, very familiar with defamation. Let's just leave it at that.
I just want to say that the purpose of this, Mr. Wilcock has made various claims to let's just say mutual friends or parties, interested parties, about me defaming him or, slandering him. Going after you and showing people that you lie to people is not defamation. And the purpose of my broadcast is never to defame someone or slander them or damage their reputation. It is simply to show people the truth behind their so-called business, right? Or is it a charity, David Wilcock? And various people have warned me that, I'm in some kind of legal crosshairs here in even mentioning this man or covering him. I think it's important enough to reveal to the public the truth, that I have to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Right. But I just want to make that statement, and it's certainly never our intention to damage anyone's reputation. But if you're out there on the internet lying, I'm allowed to go on the internet and show people that you're lying.
I don't want to feel too sorry for myself because these other folks I'm referring to now are taking much bigger hits than I am right now. A defamation attorney, that's what he specializes in. Defamation is people saying things that attack you and try to defame you.
This is his logic. Just because this idiot is an attorney, he can't be lying. He's got to be telling the truth because he knows he could be sued. Hey, dummy, what happened to the Dominion voting lawyer girl, right? She just got sued for $1 billion for her false statements without evidence, proof, or facts. So my prediction is Mr. Wood is going to be next. We'll see.
They take away your righteousness, or they try to hurt you publicly by making up things about you that are not true. So defamation, by definition, is one of two things. It's either libel or slander. Libel is defamation in writing. Slander is defamation that's spoken out loud.
Well, thanks for the legal lessons.
We learned all this, didn't we? So, yeah, we did. So
And I just want to say once again that anybody critical of David Wilcock's lies, bullshit, and garbage on the internet is not defaming him, is not slandering him if they write about it. They're not defaming him if they speak about it. People have a right to critique the ramblings, the nonsensical, non-factual, non-supported by evidence ramblings of an asshole living in $1 million mansion collecting donations to spout unproven theories, terrible sources like court-martialed child molesters, white supremacists. That's the kind of garbage that you're repeating. I'm allowed to tell people that what you're repeating is garbage and why.
If you are a defamation attorney and that's your specialty, you don't ever want to say something that is not true, because you know that the only way you can prove defamation is by making sure that everything you say is true. So an attorney of this level of significance, with this level of positioning, is not going to be saying things that he cannot prove are true, because he knows that he is making public statements. And these statements could be considered libelous. They could be defamatory.
Well, he just said that all of this pedophilia information is going to come out against all these rich, powerful people. So what do you think is going to happen? Does he have the evidence? He better.
They could have defamation in them if they are knowingly untrue. In other words, all somebody would have to do afterwards for Wood is prove that he knew that something he said in any of these texts, any of them, was a lie. If he knew it was a lie, if you can prove it was a lie, you got him on defamation, and he knows that because he wins these cases. So
sure.
He's never...
Let's see if he wins the next case coming at him, bro. Let's see.
...going to say something that is not provably true, or at least if he's speculating, he lets you know that he's speculating. So bearing that in mind, where did he get this briefing from? Well, obviously, if he's been deplatformed, if he got taken off of Twitter now, he had said in one of the previous broadcasts...
And here he is trying to justify sharing this garbage.
So he hadn't spoken to the press in over a month, but I'll bet you now that's changed, or that he's in regular communication with other people in the team.
There's no proof that he's in regular communication with Trump or anybody in Trump's inner circle, you asshole. This is you speculating.
One of my insiders, probably shouldn't say this, but one
of his insiders, here's the quality of his insiders: a senile old man who claimed to be a Ronald Reagan technology advisor, who's not, a court-martialed child molester. Let's see, Corey Good was one of his insiders. You know, the guy suing everybody that says his Buck Rogers science fiction fantasy stories aren't real. Those are his insiders. Now, this is the David Wilcock prover maneuver. He just said some bullshit. And now, in order to prove his bullshit, he's going to make up an insider and say he just talked to an insider who's telling him that this is accurate. That's my prediction. Let's see if my prediction holds true.
My insiders did say that he's been a troublemaker. I think he did more than they really expected. Shocking stuff. And also, some of the other insiders I'm talking to are not as confident as he is. They don't have as much faith as he does about the way this is going to work out. There is significant concern as to whether this is actually going to work or not.
Yeah, so if it doesn't work out, it's because the plan changed, not because I'm wrong, right? We've seen this time and time again with this clown. He's giving himself an out for when none of this shit happens. And then he's going to blame Lynn Wood for, spreading inaccurate information.
And that's why I want to use this technology. In fact, I will say this. The Alliance directly requested that we do this.
Yeah, because some secret government alliance organization needed to get this information out. So they tapped the skills of ancient alien star, former Gaia TV star, David Wilcock. They couldn't go to the mainstream media with it, right? They couldn't go to the New York Times. They couldn't go to the Washington Post, right? They had to go to the guy that talks about aliens and ancient aliens, right? All right.
That we do another global meditation because this is the only tool we have, and we know that it works. So it's not just me. We want to do as many of these as we can, and we want to try to stay in that prayerful state, stay in that meditative state, stay in a peaceful, loving state.
If you were in a peaceful, loving prayer and meditative state, why would you be knowingly and willingly spreading false information to already angry, upset people on the internet? Would that be a spiritually good thing to do? Of course not. Again, here's the hypocrisy. I'm going to run a global peace meditation while I'm spreading harmful, unfactual, unproven theories from all over conspiracy land about what's going to happen next. It's garbage.
There's a whole other layer to this, which is the spiritual warfare, and that's going to get into our Joan of Arc discussion. But I wanted to get through the data first. So if you're only here for the data,
his data is garbage. His data is garbage, unproven, unsupported by evidence, not factual, garbage. That's his data. Listen, I'm a computer science guy, and your program, if you're using data to build something, is only as good as the quality of the data. If the quality of David Wilcock's data is this fucking terrible, this bad, that gives you some clue about all of his information. His data is garbage.
You're going to hear everything. I have seen the evidence. It is conclusive. It's a worldwide situation. And in the next 10 to 14 days, oh my God, I can hardly wait. You will learn shocking information about many government officials and wealthy elite. I can barely even wait.
Here's David Wilcock saying he can't wait to hear about child sex trafficking and pedophilia while he's running a global peace meditation and is in a prayerful state. He can't wait to hear the dirt about sex trafficking and pedophilia. Does anyone need any more proof that he's not a spiritual guru? What spiritual guru says, I can't wait to hear all about that child sex trafficking and pedophilia that's a worldwide pandemic while I'm praying for global peace and meditation? That's not a spiritual guru. It's a con man.
This truly is a battle between good and evil. Absolutely.
Here we go. Pope arrested on 80-count indictment for child trafficking and fraud. And this is from the conservativebeaver.com. One of the worst right-wing leaning rags full of garbage that I've ever read. But this is his source, right? He can't cite a New York Times article about the Pope getting arrested because it didn't happen. David Wilcock, you dumbass. He can't cite a reputable newspaper, LA Times, Philadelphia Inquirer, right? He can't cite CNN or Fox News or even OWN or any of that shit, right? He can't even cite a conservative-leaning, online news site like Drudge Report or Breitbart that will confirm that the Pope got arrested, because it's only the very, very fringe idiots that are posting this shit.
So then he posted this, Vatican blackout. Apparently the pontiff arrested on an 80-count indictment for child T and F. Pope F, a.k.a. Jorge, was arrested Saturday in conjunction with an 80-count indictment. I have no idea if this is true. The article is pretty detailed and specific. I was going to quote from it. I didn't have enough time.
Okay, so he was going to verify this, but he didn't have enough time, so he just ran with this fake story. Again, here's how easy it is to disprove David Wilcock's garbage and bullshit. Besides calling around Washington this morning, I also made some phone calls. I called the local Philadelphia Archdiocese of Philadelphia. They have a media relations person who I was lucky enough that they called me back. And I sent them some links to these stories. Remember, the Philadelphia Archdiocese has a bishop who's in touch with the Pope and, plugged into the Vatican and knows what's going on there. So, my question was, is there any truth to any of these ridiculous conspiracy theories that the Pope was arrested on 80-count indictment for child trafficking and fraud? And what I was told was, no, he wasn't arrested on Saturday. And there are convincing indicators that this is all bullshit. And one of the most convincing indicators that this is all bullshit, remember, here's David Wilcock saying that he got arrested, the Pope got arrested on Saturday night. Well, interestingly, on Sunday morning, the Pope gave his usual mass in Rome and did several public appearances that were scheduled in advance. So the media relations person sent me information about the Pope's schedule all day Sunday. He did a mass, he did a prayer meeting, he met with several bishops and a cardinal, and another public appearance, all on Sunday after David Wilcock is saying that he got arrested. David Wilcock, let me explain something to you, you asshole. If you get arrested on Saturday night, you don't just go back to your normal schedule the next day, right? If the Pope got arrested on an 80-count indictment on Saturday night, it wouldn't be business as usual on Sunday. So I just want to say that my source at the Philadelphia Archdiocese of Philadelphia categorically denies any claims that either Mr. Wood or Mr. Wilcock is making about the arrest of the Pope. And after they were done laughing about the stuff that I was sending them, it's interesting that they weren't even aware that these rumors are going around. But I was told that conspiracy theories surrounding the Pope were very prevalent. And there's even someone at the Vatican whose job it is to sort of battle this disinformation. I'm going to try to get an interview with them. So this is how easy it is to disprove David Wilcock's garbage. All I did was make a phone call. I got to a real and reputable source connected to the Vatican who could confirm or deny these ridiculous allegations, and they categorically denied. The Pope's never been arrested. The Pope did his normal mass and normal schedule all day Sunday. And I asked them to follow up with me and send me the Pope's itinerary or whatever he's doing for the next couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, today, tomorrow, Wednesday. And I'm going to get that information. Maybe I'll share it just so everybody knows that it's business as usual in Rome and the Pope did not get arrested. He's doing his normal Pope job stuff. If he was arrested or in jail on an 80-count indictment, he wouldn't be doing that. This is how easy it is, David Wilcock. You make a phone call before you run with a fake fucking story. Why do I got to make a phone call to the Archdiocese to talk to a media representative from the Catholic Church? Why do I got to do that? And by the way, David Wilcock, I grew up Catholic. I don't consider myself a Catholic any longer, but I know a lot of Catholics. I don't think that any Catholic I know would be happy that you're running around telling people that the Pope, their Pope, the head of probably the biggest church in the world, got arrested on an indictment for child trafficking and fraud, right? You care about religious people? You're a spiritual guru? Let me ask everyone a question. Would any spiritual guru that you're aware of, like would the Dalai Lama come out and share information that the Pope got arrested on an 80-count indictment for child trafficking and fraud if they didn't know with 100% authority and proof and evidence that that was factually accurate? Or as a spiritual person, would they know that that is not something you do as a spiritual person, making false claims, especially about something as heinous as child trafficking, right? Would the Dalai Lama do that? Would somebody from the Mormon church come out and say the Pope got arrested on an 80-count indictment, right? Would a Muslim imam come out and say that this happened if it didn't happen? Would someone from the Jewish faith, a rabbi, come out against the Pope and say that this happened? No. No spiritual person would spread this kind of garbage because they would know it's garbage and it's detrimental to another spiritual group, another church full of spiritual people. You don't attack the leader of one of the largest religions on earth with fake, false information. But that's what David Wilcock did here. Mr. Spirituality. What? And you run a fucking spirituality charity, and this is what you're doing. While he's accusing the Pope of being arrested on an 80-count indictment for child trafficking, he's getting donations to his spiritual foundation that's spreading lies about the Pope and child trafficking. He's getting donations to his spiritual foundation. You're so fucking spiritual, David Wilcock. This is such a spiritual thing to do. What an asshole. You are an asshole, David Wilcock. And I'm not even Catholic anymore. But this enrages me. Because how fucking dare you spread this garbage about the Pope? You don't even know the man, right? It'd be different if you knew him. Like if you were on his level as a spiritual leader in the world or something. Garbage. Garbage. You're a garbage human being, David Wilcock.
But again, the core of what is being alleged is that this 8-hour blackout that is definitely provable, that everybody lost power.
Yeah, blackouts happen, you asshole. Doesn't mean the Pope was arrested, you dumbass.
During that time, multiple arrests were made. There's a lot.
Where? Show us the records of the arrest. Did you call the Italian government and get records of the arrests? There's something called an arrest warrant. Even in Italy, you asshole. If this were true, you could show us the arrest warrants. You could show us the arrest records. You're not showing us anything because this is all fucking garbage.
A lot of juicy information in this, so you might want to go
follow information. A lot of juicy fake information, you asshole.
Follow up on that. I'm sorry I didn't have enough time to get that one in there.
I'm sorry I didn't have time to fact check this, but I ran with it anyway, accusing the Pope, a man who leads more people. It's the biggest religion in the world. I didn't have time to fact check whether he really got arrested or not. Sorry. I just ran with the story and said that he was child trafficking and he got arrested on an 80-count indictment. I didn't have any time to check the story. Then why did you run with it, you dumbass?
So here's another thing.
What are the odds that a country, basically a third world fucking country, maybe a little better off than some third world countries, but still, what are the chances that Pakistan would have a fucking power failure, right? And he's going to somehow connect these dots with, there was a power failure in Pakistan, and there was also a power failure in Italy. Asshole. There's power failures in every country all the time. There's power failures right now in the United States. You're going to connect those dots too, you asshole?
And he tweeted this as well. Wood tweeted this. It says that a blackout occurring all across Pakistan after national grid breakdown and the government urges calm. The electricity distribution system in the nation of more than 210 million people is a complex and delicate web, and a problem in one section of the grid can lead to cascading breakdowns countrywide.
Yeah, it seems pretty plausible to me that, they could have a nationwide breakdown if they have a big problem with their power grid. Have you seen the fucking power grid in Pakistan, you asshole? Do you know what they got? Fucking 1940s electronics technology in Pakistan. That's what they're working with. So maybe, David Wilcock, there's a high likelihood of a blackout or a power failure in Pakistan because they're a fucking ass backwards third world country. Maybe, just maybe. I think Pakistan is just as bad as India. If you've ever seen those pictures of India with all like extension cords run on all these poles and shit all over the place, right? Pakistan's power system is about as good as that.
So there you have it. Now, Pakistan apparently is another one of the countries where a lot of these things took place. And so...
there was mass arrests in Pakistan, too. I guess he's going to show us those arrest records from Pakistan. I guess he's going to show us the perp walk videos of all the people that were arrested in Pakistan. I guess he's going to show us copies of arrest warrants, right? Or he's going to cite credible news sources like the New York Times, the Washington Post, or, Philadelphia Inquirer, CNN, somebody. No, he's not going to cite anything. This is garbage.
There's probably evidence that was seized. There's probably arrests that happened. Because remember, we already heard about in a country starting with G that there were servers grabbed there in a facility run by, what they affectionately call the company.
That was an unproven conspiracy theory that was just posted by somebody on Twitter with zero proof, zero evidence, and a senator from the United States, an idiot, ran with that story, and that's how that got spread out, right? There was no raid on any foreign country. There was no confiscated servers. That was all bullshit. And it's been proven that it's all bullshit. You talked about it on a previous stream, and now you're doubling down on your bullshit. Doubling down on bullshit doesn't make it any less bullshit, David Wilcock.
Or the clowns. The clowns in America. You probably can guess what that is. Anyway, all these blackouts are very interesting. 3 different countries, prolonged periods of time, exactly what we told you would happen when they got to grab people.
No, you told us that there would be an internet blackout, not a power blackout. And I can go find that clip, you asshole. So don't try to claim that you were right now. You weren't right. You're full of shit. You didn't say there'd be massive electrical blackouts while they're arresting people. Or no, maybe you did. But that was supposed to happen in the United States, not in these foreign countries.
The best way to do it. Why wouldn't it be happening now? Another thing that everybody is starting to talk about, we'll get into later, is the idea that as of last night at midnight, it's rumored that the president already activated the EO, the executive, you know what?
Yeah, the Insurrection Act. And here we go. David Wilcock is saying that last night at midnight, the president activated the Insurrection Act. So again, I called my local senator. That's not true. There has been no activation of the Insurrection Act. You're lying, your sources are lying, and you're running with a fake story. It's that easy. Call your local senator. Excuse me, did the president invoke the Insurrection Act at midnight last night? No? Okay, thank you. It's that easy. One phone call can prove that this bit of information that you're running with is factually inaccurate, false, and misleading, right? So it's worse than misleading. It's an outright lie. I made one phone call, right? 3 phone calls so far proved most of this shit that you've been talking about for, I don't know, an hour and 25 minutes is all fake. 3 phone calls, and we proved it. He's so fucking lazy that he can't make 3 phone calls before he goes on a live stream, collecting super chat donations for a spiritual foundation, giving people this level of lies and garbage? Really? You can't make 3 phone calls? Are you that fucking busy shining your fake teeth, David Wilcock? Right? Are you that fucking busy shining up your fake teeth that you can't make 3 phone calls? Why do I got to make the 3 phone calls and show everybody that's donating money to you that they're donating money to lies? Why do I got to do that? You can't do it? You can't make 3 fucking phone calls? It took all of an hour, right? So a couple people had to call me back, whatever, had to wait a little bit. You make some phone calls, David Wilcock. You're supposed to be this incredible researcher. You don't know how to work a fucking phone. You don't know how to verify sources. You don't know how to vet sources. We know that already.
The 13848 is the number of the order from 2018. How to stop this fraud from happening if it did happen, or if it was going to happen. They anticipated this, right?
Yeah, and again, Mr. Geopolitical Commentator, you don't know anything about politics or the law. The Insurrection Act has nothing to do with voter fraud or anything like that. Look it up. Did you take the time to look it up before you just made this ridiculous false statement that that's how you stop voter fraud? You enact the Insurrection Act? You're an idiot. You don't know anything about any of this shit. You're just making shit up off the top of your head, and you're not smart enough to do that. You make silly, stupid statements that are factually inaccurate. The Insurrection Act has nothing to do with voter fraud.
That may have taken place. Our own sources have not confirmed this yet. Other sources have. We have slides about this coming up. Everything is coming to a head right now, folks. So here's another thing that he posted. Live feed from this particular area. That's where people heard the sounds and the birds flying off, which might have related to gunfire going on inside as arrests were happening. There will be some armed resistance, I'm sure. Now look at this.
Yeah, here's another one. He's running with this fake theory that since Mr. Trump got pulled off of every social media platform, he's going to use the emergency broadcasting system. in order to communicate about all of this stuff, right? So don't update your phone. Don't update your phone. Turn your phone off, because that could be a problem. You know, they're going to turn the emergency system off, so you're not able to get the updates from Trump. Bullshit.
Deliberate. It's just because he's so freaked out, like I was when I read this. We have a man of courage and faith at the helm. He has said in his shows.
Yeah, just and another point. I didn't verify that this can't be done. Is it technically possible for Apple or Android, the people that administer the Android OS, to do an update and turn off the emergency broadcast system? Probably. Is it probable? Of course not. It's not probable.
The president is praying multiple times a day, and he says he needs all the help he can get. That's why we're doing this meditation. So he will be at the helm for 4 more years, per the rule of law. Pray for president and our country.
Yeah, so here's the hopium that David Wilcock is shoveling at these people. See, the president's going to be the president for 4 more years. And David Wilcock said that Joe Biden is not getting inaugurated on the 20th. That is garbage information. There's no proof. There's no facts or evidence backing any of this shit up. It's hopium garbage.
And it goes on from there. But that's okay. So here we are. So a little bit later, we're going to have a tour of really cool prepper supplies that we've got. This is
and this is my favorite part of the video, friends, because who better than a man who bought $1 million log cabin mansion to give you prepper advice than David Wilcock, right? If you need prepper advice, don't go to a guy who, like, you know, built his own apocalypse cabin out in the woods, right? Go to me, because I bought $1 million log cabin mansion, and now I'm going to give you prepper advice.
Midland portable CB radio. I am not getting any product placement fees for this, folks. This is one of the things we were told to get from Midland. It's a portable CB radio with a little antenna on it, so you can use it.
And we're going to skip over this part.
Pack times off of those batteries just with one of these. So we have, like, I think 2 of these right now.
Wow, your big $1 million mansion, you only got 2 lanterns? You're going to need more than that.
It also is very handy just to keep around the house if you don't have any lights. Now, regarding these kind of situations, we are told if you have a gas generator, you probably don't want to run it during the day because it alerts people to where you are. So
again, prepper advice from a guy living in $1 million mansion. Great. Just great. I'm not sure how much more of this bullshit I can take. Let's give it a little bit more.
Other thing that would be wonderful is if you have solar panels and a battery to store the energy that the solar panels are making. We're working on all that stuff here. Believe me, we are ready.
He must be watching my show. He's stealing my gig, man. I'm the apocalypse cabin guy, you asshole. You're the guy living in $1 million log mansion, right? Nobody's going to listen to you, you dumbass, about what prepper supplies they need, right? Could you imagine David Wilcock camping? Oh, my God. All right, we're going to fast forward because there's another important part of this that I almost left out that I don't want to. And this is more proof that David Wilcock watches every show that I do, especially the shows where I talk about him. Previously on our broadcast, we covered the fact that David Wilcock for years and years was collecting money in the form of Convergence Pictures, LLC. That was one of his scams. And for years, he collected money to make a documentary and never made it. And he's going to address that here. More proof that David Wilcock watches every one of our Truthseekers shows here, especially the ones where we talk about him and reveal to people that he's been conning people for years. He's been involved in multiple scams, money-related scams, PayPal donation scam, a GoFundMe scam, Invest in My Movie scam. So he's going to talk about that here. And I think it's important to hear what he has to say in his defense, having collected, I don't know how much money. David Wilcock doesn't mention here. David Wilcock, I'm going to ask you again, how much money did you collect from investors for Convergence Pictures, LLC, for a documentary that you never made?
That's called a civil war. That's the second American Civil War, not the first.
We're getting into Civil War now.
It begins if that starts to happen. We don't want to see our own men and women in uniform having to be lost over this. And what I hope is going to happen is that evidence comes out first, and the evidence is so shocking, just like a lot of these tweets say, that the public will demand justice. They will demand that this be done. And then it doesn't matter if there's 7,000 guys around, because they have to stand down, because nobody is going to put up with this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We need to learn this evidence. We need to find out the truth. And I think what's going to happen is probably a series of events.
Yes, I agree.
Where the public, I think that the opposition, Dems, or whatever you want to call them, the DS, I think they assumed that the president would lead with some massive strike, but that's
They're in
not
his
what
love
it's
room.
looking like. And I've always said the plans are very flexible, very fluid. They could go many, 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 many different ways. What I think might happen is a series of arrests, and then as the arrests happen, the evidence starts to come out.
The mass
it's probably
arrests
going to be the use of this system.
again.
It's probably going to be power outages, but it's all going to happen in stages. It's not going to be one big burst. So, as a result of the briefing that I actually received, I was actually asked by the Alliance directly to please do this tonight. How many do we have watching live right now? 23,000.
Oh, he turned up the bot farm.
That is incredible. That's even better than last time. So going to the final slide here.
Just want to take a moment and let you all know that according to David Wilcock, he gets better live stream numbers than almost anybody on YouTube. Joe Rogan, PewDiePie, he's beating all of those more popular YouTube content creators with live streams. Bullshit. I call bullshit. I don't believe there's 23,000 people watching him live. I believe it's bot farms. That's my opinion. That's my speculation. But it's informed speculation given the fact that for a time I did social media management for artists and entertainers, many of which wanted to employ bot farms for various reasons, mostly ego, right? The fake it till you make it never works out. I have very informed speculation. I know a lot about the underbelly of all of that stuff. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Take from that what you will. Could I be considered an expert on bot farms and fake views in a court of law? I believe I probably could be, based on my experience managing social media and dealing with these things. And also just my background in computer science. I mean, you could do the numbers. It's just, it doesn't pan out. His numbers don't pan out. They don't pan out, friends.
We are again going to use the meditation technology, as we could call it that, even though it's not really a technology, because 7,000 people meditating together have reduced war, crime, terrorism, fatalities, all these horrible things by 72%. So,
all right, I have to stop him here. Other people have talked about this. Most notably, who comes to mind is C.W. Channer. Shout out to C.W. Channer. I don't want to get accused of using his talking points, but I happen to agree with him. This claim that David Wilcock continually makes, that a bunch of people can get together and reduce war, reduce crime, reduce famine by just meditating together, is fake. This is a fake claim that was made largely and mostly by the transcendental meditation movement to promote their meditation garbage bullshit. It's not true. It's not backed up by science, evidence, or scholarly articles or real scientific studies. It's a claim made by a meditation cult that he's running with because he loves this idea that you could just meditate to world peace. It's not true. It's not factually accurate. And this information came to him in the form of propaganda from the transcendental meditation movement that was already proven. It has been proven time and time again that it's not real, David Wilcock. But you still, this Maharishi effect garbage is one of his talking points that's second only to mass arrests. He uses this time and time and time again. David Wilcock, contact me, email me. I can send you all the scholarly articles, all the real scientific studies that have proven that this is a false claim, that this isn't real, so that you can be informed and stop lying through your fake fucking teeth to your followers just because you like that, right? He likes this idea so much that he can't let go of the fact that it's fake. It's fake, David Wilcock. This doesn't work. It's never worked. It never will work. And real proven studies have shown it doesn't work. But you cling to this ignorant belief that this is somehow real or possible. It's not.
Again, as I love to talk about this one, this is not in dispute.
I just disputed it, you dumbass. Real scientists dispute it. Real people who have done real scientific studies into this so-called Hypocrisy effect phenomenon have disputed it, right? But he's smarter than all those scientists, right? He's smarter than everyone that's actually done the work, even though he's done zero work to verify this as being real or factual or accurate. He's smarter than all those people. He just said it's not in dispute. Friends, I can send you links to articles that dispute it. It is in dispute. So this claim you just made that this is not in dispute, it's bullshit. It is in dispute, you asshole.
Let's go back to a camera here. Yeah. This is not in dispute.
Yes, it
and
is.
He said, well, David, you spent 2 hours and 15 minutes so far. It looks like 2 hours and 10.
Oh, here's where he explains that he's trying to get around YouTube's terms of service, right? He's trying to sidestep YouTube's terms of service and get around the rules on YouTube. Here's where he publicly explains that he's doing that. David Wilcock, you are not smart enough to play this game. You let stupid things like this slip. You can't let people in on the inside of how your con works, but here you're going to do just that, you dummy.
We were 5 minutes late. Believe me, I needed to be. Just trying to get this all done. We've spent a lot of time talking, but I never mentioned anything that's in the title of the video. Well, obviously, the title is not exactly what it's really about. You have to be a lot more circumspect these days in talking about these things, but the title of the video is extremely important, and I want to share with you why that is.
Andrew Vail corrupts the meditation.
When I was living in Los Angeles, I spent an entire year in Hollywood trying to get a Hollywood movie made, having no idea that it was so controlled that that would never be possible.
Here he is. He's going to try to explain the Convergence Pictures LLC con that we covered previously on my show, but he's not going to give us any factual information about where all the money went. Where did all the money from Convergence Pictures LLC investors go, David Wilcock? Did you just live off of it for a few years and never make a documentary? Because I believe, and that's my speculation and opinion, that's what happened. You collected a whole bunch of money for Convergence Pictures LLC. You spent the money, but you never produced a documentary. So what happened to all those investors' money? David Wilcock, you got to explain that. There has to be an accounting of every penny you collected from investors and every penny that was spent and where it was spent. We want to see that breakdown, David Wilcock.
We raised money. We actually got an A-list screenwriter, Jim Hart, who wrote the movie Contact, worked with all the best people, and we actually have several versions of that Convergence screenplay that we actually wrote for the money that we raised. When we tried to get in development, nobody wanted to develop the movie. And in fact,
we could go back to David Wilcock's Convergence Pictures LLC fundraising scam, investor scam, because it's still on his website. And he told people what a great opportunity it would be. And you can get on the ground floor of this new company he's forming that's going to make this documentary, right? And he gives these false numbers from another documentary about how profitable it's going to be if you donate to me right now. People were not donating so he could sit on his ass for 2 years, spend all the money, and just write a screenplay. Did you send a screenplay to the investors and say, this is what you got for your $10,000 donations to or investments? A screenplay? No. You said, donate to my company. We're going to make a documentary. The money disappeared and you never made the documentary. And this is a piss poor explanation of why. He's going to blame the Hollywood elite, right? Well, fuck the Hollywood elite. What happened to all the money? You could have made it independently. If you would have did the right thing with the money that you were collecting from this Convergence Pictures LLC investment scam, you could have made the movie yourself. But you didn't. You took the money and you never made the documentary. Why is that, David Wilcock? Why did you never make any public statement about how much money you collected with Convergence Pictures LLC and what the money was spent on?
Later on, when my colleague Danny and Brinkley was checking around with all his top Hollywood people, believe me, everybody knows who I am. And they know that I have a huge audience, but nobody wanted to
Yeah, you got a huge audience of bot farms, right?
do anything with me. So we struck out on television deals, movie deals, everything. Nobody would go anywhere near this. So I've had to stay independent. I'm literally unemployable by the mainstream. They will not go anywhere near me.
I wonder why. Is it because you're a fucking wackadoodle idiot that spouts nonsense conspiracy theories about, you know, everything from reptilian aliens to tall white aliens in Paradise, California being the reason that Paradise burnt down? It was a directed energy weapon. Mass arrests are coming any minute now. There's going to be a worldwide internet shutdown that never happened. All of this shit that, you know, we're going to get light bodies and superpowers. Maybe they just think you're a fucking wackadoo and they don't want to employ you. And they're free to do that.
And it's probably these shoes, Ellis. Why don't we show them?
Oh, God. Now he's going to show us his fucking Dorothy shoes.
You got a telescoping camera there. You can. Anyway, yes. So I'll show you myself. These are the shoes that I chose to wear today.
He chose to wear those.
Just to be a little bit pizzazzy for you. You know, we got to have some kind of fun in all of
Yeah,
this.
he wears those shoes in his love room.
Okay, so let's talk about screenwriting, right? These are the shoes that I bought thinking that, you know, I did use them once when I met, you know, Steven Tyler at his benefit. So anyway.
Again, with the name dropping, you don't get credit for hanging out with Steven Tyler because Steven Tyler once adopted a 14-year-old girl so he could fuck her. David Wilcock.
Anyway, fun shoes. People were asking me to wear another blazer again, but I said, well, you got to get the shoes. You know, the shoes are pretty freaking cool. I mean, they look like gold. You know, it means.
No, I don't know any other man but you that would wear those shoes. Those shoes are fucking horrid, right?
Why would he wear those shoes?
I have a few ideas about why he would wear shoes like that.
You can insult me. I'm giving you red meat here, low-hanging fruit to insult your buddy. Anyway, back to the.
You're right, Bailey Stoner.
Here we go. So when we go back in time to those days when we were trying to get those jobs to happen, and I spent years trying to get this film made. I started it in 2005. It's the reason I moved to LA in 2006 is to do this one movie that we were raising money for, but we could never get it in development. We were blocked and blocked and blocked and blocked. Jim was showing it to all kinds of people in Hollywood. It was a great script. Nobody wanted to do anything.
All right, if this is the case, let's say you collected, I don't know, I have to speculate because I don't know how much he collected, but let's be very conservative and just say he collected. 1 second, friends. One second, friends. Hello?
Hey, buddy.
Who's this?
It's Eric.
What's going on, Eric?
I just wanted to share with you. I sent it to you on your Twitter. This could be either your next show or if you wanted to talk about this. Some guy did a video on YouTube with David Wilcock and reptilian hologram technology. I'm telling you, it's classic because he's got Corey No Good in there also, and he shows them both shape shifting. He shows the reptilian slits in their eyes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna share that. We might share that. We might share that before the end of the broadcast. But listen, I got just a little bit more to get through.
Right.
But thanks for interrupting me, though, Eric, in the middle of a show.
I just wanted you to know that because.
No, you're always welcome here. You're always welcome here. You're always welcome here. So, you know what's funny is I forgot when I gave out that number so much that people keep the number and they can call anytime, even before we put. So, you know, in the future, Eric, wait till I put out the fucking call bumper. But it's okay.
All right, buddy. I'll hang up.
Oh, I got to see this. So we might get to it next. Is it a long?
You needed a break. You know what? I'm worn out listening.
Yeah, I am too. Is that a long video or is it a short video?
No, it's short. It's only 15 minutes. You can probably play it on your.
Oh, we're going to play the whole thing. We're going to play the whole thing today. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. All right. Bye-bye. All right. There's Eric, the Awakening Man, sending us some more stuff. Oh, boy. Did the tall white aliens manage to escape in the Underground Railway from California, keeping me up at night? Okay. So before I got interrupted by Eric, the Awakening Man, thanks, Eric. I didn't put the call bumper out. That means you don't call yet. No, I'm just busting his balls. He can call anytime. Listen, if you collected, let's say, $200,000 in an investment deal for people investing in your documentary to make a documentary, you put the money in an escrow account, right? And then if you can't make the movie, you give the money back. It's that simple. If the Hollywood elite stepped on your dick and said, we're not going to help you make this Hollywood movie, then you have two choices. You make it independently or you give all the money back. Did you put that money in an escrow holding account? All that investment money, right? Or did you spend it, David Wilcock? And if you did spend it, what did you spend it on? We have a right to know. You ran an investment opportunity promising people huge profits if they, I believe you did promise big profits. Yeah, but don't hold me to that. His public blog talks about, he gave this huge pitch for why you should invest in him making this film. And then he never made the film. And here he is talking about it. Why didn't you just give the money back, David Wilcock? Look, he looks like a deer in headlights here. Oh, shit. Here's Stephen Cambion catching me, collecting money from people and spending it on my millionaire lifestyle instead of doing what I'm supposed to do with it, right? Which is make a documentary. He never made the documentary. And to my knowledge, he never gave any of the investors their money back, right? Convergence Pictures LLC just became inactive, went out of business. No explanation for what happened to all that investor money.
It was unbelievable. So to get back to the point, during this time, before we hired Jim, we didn't hire Jim till 2009, and I've been working on it since 2005, raising money, investors, everything. I spent an entire year reading books on how to write film screenplays. An entire year where that's all I did from the time I got up to the time I went to bed. Every day I sat in a chair and I read. I have all these margin notes. I went through about 12 or 13 different books very heavily.
So let me ask a question. You were researching and reading books about how to write a screenplay after you solicited investors into your movie. Who was paying your living expenses for that year while you were reading books and trying to write a screenplay? Were the Convergence Pictures LLC people paying your living expenses? Were they buying your food, paying your rent, paying your car payments while you did all this research and work? Is that what you're going to try to say? That's where the money went? To your living expenses? But you never made the movie. So wasn't there any money left over that you could give back to them after you spent all their money, I guess, on your living expenses? And again, all this is speculation because David Wilcock will not answer public questions about what happened to all the money that he collected.
And I learned the underlying DNA of how to write a movie. The weirdest thing about how to write a movie is that they always come out in three parts, and they call it 3 acts, a 3-act structure. The second act is twice as big as the...
Yeah, so we got legal lessons from him earlier. Now we're getting lessons on how to write screenplays. This is why his streams are 3 hours long, because he goes off on these tangents that nobody wants to hear about this shit, but he's going to talk about it anyway, because he's a fucking expert.
First and the third, so there's actually 4 units. If you divide the second act in half, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. The 3 acts could basically be called setup, conflict, and resolution, the 3 parts of the story. You got to set up the story. You got to have a main character and a villain. The main character needs to have some quest. This is what all films are. There has to be a quest presented to the main character.
I believe that this is, again, his subconscious leaking into it, because this hero's journey bullshit sounds an awful lot like him helping Corey Goode tell his stories, right? Corey Goode's a hero. And the conflict was the war in space with the reptilians and the evil aliens. And he's going to resolve it because he's the hero of the story, right?
Which the main character, he or she, debates about and then finally decides to join. There's even guidelines about what's supposed to happen to the character, what page number it's supposed to happen on. I learned all this stuff. And then there's 2 different versions. There's the guy that wrote Save the Cat, and he's advocating shrinking the screenplay down to 110 pages, whereas everybody else recommends 120, with the idea being that one page is 1 minute of time on the screen, usually when you're reading a screenplay. Okay, so I'm going through all this screenwriting stuff, and ultimately what it came to was that there's always a main character. The villain is the mirror image of the main character if his or her flaws took over, and the flaws then run the character. The hero has to be set up for this quest. Then when the second act begins, that's usually page 30 in a 120-page screenplay. Okay, so you get the first 30 minutes of setup.
Listen to this dribble garbage, like 10 minutes about how to write a screenplay. Who fucking cares? Where's the Convergence Pictures money, dude? That's what we want to know. Are you just saying all this shit so you don't have to explain where the money went?
And the hero, as they call every person in the movie, the lead character is called the hero. The hero, which is a male or a female, then has to go into the magical world. That's the beginning of Act 2. That's the initiation beginning. Typically, the first half of Act 2 is called fun and games. It's when cool things happen. And
look at that. He's got a big manly sword behind him. Why?
Training and they're learning, and that's when they meet the mentor and they get the talisman a lot of times, which is an object that might be very useful for you to have. This is your talisman of the day, folks. Your, what is it called? VX6R, okay? You got to have a talisman. A lot of times that's in a movie. It'll be some kind of object that's given to them by the mentor that becomes very useful later on. We have a lot of cool talismans going on now. In our actual hero's journey story on Earth, we have laptops, we have servers, we have affidavits, we have whistleblowers, all kinds of really cool tangible things, you know.
They're not tangible, they're all fake, and they only exist in your imagination and the imagination of stupid people like you.
Stuff that was smuggled out, apparently. So this is very exciting. The third act is where the quest is solved. So set up, conflict, resolution. Resolution is the third act. Now here's the thing. Before you go into the third act, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you about all of this, folks.
Well, this is important.
Before you go into the third act, the hero must appear to have died. Does that mean that every movie has the main character appear to die and then not actually be dead because they come back to life? No. If it's like a romantic comedy,
this is just garbage.
If it's a romantic comedy, you don't have one of the characters actually die or appear to have died, but what will happen is that the quest will appear to have died.
Oh, okay.
And this is a
important
very
distinction.
Thing.
This is important.
I had said in the previous video.
Can I get for 5 minutes of my life back? I thought that when I heard you mention Convergence Pictures LLC, you've been watching my show and know that a lot of people are asking questions about where all the money went that you collected to make this documentary. And we'd like to know where the money went. But here he's going to ramble for 10 minutes about how to write a fucking screenplay and the hero's journey. You know, that thing that George Lucas followed to write Star Wars.
The Dark Night of the Soul was something Jung came up with. Many, many people wrote in and corrected me and said it was originally from St. John of the Cross. Maybe David doesn't want to promote Christianity or something. That's not true. So yeah, it's St. John of the Cross who first came up with this concept of the Dark Night of the Soul, or what is called in the books the all is lost point. This usually would happen on page 85.
Oh, God, I'm drowning in fucking ridiculous nonsense and bullshit that doesn't matter to anybody but him.
Where page 90 is when you go into the third act. Now, this is very important. You think about Avatar. The lead character appears to have died in Avatar. You think about E.T. Elliot, the kid, has got this extraterrestrial friend. The E.T. appears to have died. His heart light goes out. His skin is all white, like he's covered in white oatmeal. And Elliot is crying. And I was crying as a kid when I saw E.T. I forget how old I was.
I believe that you cried when you watched E.T., you asshole.
Never cried. And that movie made me cry because I really believed E.T. was dead. So the whole trick in screenwriting is to trick people into believing the hero is really actually dead. And then, that's page 85. You have to spend 5 pages of screen time from page 85 to 90
Jesus Christ.
with the hero appearing to be actually dead. Or, in other cases, the quest appears to be dead. The hero himself or herself might not be physically dead.
Is he going to relate this shit to Trump's current situation? Is this where we're going with this garbage? I think.
Yeah, we're getting there real soon. She's holding up Joan of Arc, Joan of Arc. You want to hurry this along a little bit? You getting tired? I'm pretty tired. Yeah, we're going to get to
I'm pretty tired of your bullshit.
Joan of Arc. Believe me, this is all. You got to just admire the setup. It takes time to set these things up. But I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. And we're about to get to Joan of Arc, I promise. So page 85, the all is lost point. The hero has to appear to have lost for 5 pages. This is going on right now, folks.
Yeah.
That's why I'm calling this the global all is lost point.
That is fiction. You're relating a fictional, timeline or way to write a screenplay to what's really happening right now. So what you're saying is that what's really happening right now is fiction? Is that what you're saying? Jesus Christ, David Wilcock, you connect dots that don't exist, you dumbass.
Dark night of the soul. The negative has finally been shown in all of its glory and all of its terror. And this is also what happens when the hero gets defeated on page 85. That's the first time in the whole movie that you really get to see how evil the villain is, how dark and scary and satanic and horrific the evil of that villain is.
Oh, okay. Evil villains.
Remember, the villain is just the mirror image of the hero if the hero's flaws are not worked out and if they take over. 5 pages of death where you don't appear to be alive. 5 pages where it appears the quest is completely lost. Now, here's the thing.
This is some grade A bullshit.
Is what initiates the third act. Page 90 is when you find out that the hero...
So we're heading into the third act.
The hero resurrects, and now in the resurrection, the hero has a renewed idea of how to defeat the villain. Something comes in, there's some insight, it happens on page 90, right around there, where the hero figures out, yes, I can get back in the fight, I can win, and I can defeat this evil. Now, when you go into the third act, archetypes that Hollywood is basing all this stuff off of have a very, very common plot device that is part of this software that we all have. I'm going to explain that in just a second. There's a plot device they use as you go into the third act. Now, the hero, first of all, is a person who, and they always say this, you need 6 things that need fixing. You got to set up the flaws. It's very important that the hero at the beginning of the movie have these obvious flaws. So
he's confessing.
Movie, might not even
I think so.
Dialogue, but you'll see things showing you that
it looks like a golden dildo over his shoulder.
Locked into life, they're screwing up. Once you go into the third act and the hero figures out how to defeat the villain, it looks like it might not be possible to work, but there's a chance. And then, this is the all-important point. Allies that you meet at the beginning of the second act, when you enter into the magical world, you meet these allies. They return to help you. So think about what happens with Avatar. Avatar, man, James Cameron followed this thing down to the letter. The hero's journey, the archetypes, the filmic structure, what page numbers,
I didn't know this was word
plot
from
points
word
have to happen on what page numbers. It is paint by numbers, Avatar. I'm sorry, it's a great movie, but it is. It's very much formulaic when you understand what these books are saying. What happens
thanks for the correction.
After the hero?
It's not a dildo. It's a pine cone.
When the defeat starts to happen, it's the blue people and all their funny, cool animals that they're riding on that suddenly show up out of nowhere to ride into battle and defeat the bad guys. So there's a cavalry that shows up. There's
James Cameron is Illuminati
that shows up. And by the way, I want to point out this is also
welcome back, Tom Craze Phase.
The hero's journey is the story of Christ, and apparently Jesus had to go through this entire process.
Okay, so Jesus and Avatar use the same filmmaking idea? Is that what he's... Jesus Christ, David Wilcock.
As part of fulfilling this galactic pattern that we all have, the hero's journey. This is why you have to write movies this way, because they found out that watching these movies is like kind of going to church. You're hearing the hero's journey, you get it in a nice fast speed, you get it in one digestible 2-hour burst.
I wish we got your bullshit in one digestible 2-hour burst. This is too long, man. He's 2 hours and 9 minutes into this garbage. Look at him. Hi, David. Flying through your fake fucking teeth.
Of the whole story from beginning to end. In the real life, it doesn't happen this way.
In real life, it doesn't happen this way, but he's going to tell us this is what's happening right now. You just said in real life, it doesn't happen this way, you dumbass. You can't even keep a point straight for 10 minutes. You contradict yourself. You're so fucking stupid.
So it could be a number of days where we're in the turmoil and all is lost point. And the dark night of the soul could still get a lot worse than it already is now. That could happen.
Oh, things are going to get worse.
But when the third act begins,
Yeah, I thought it was a feather
allies
too.
from all over that you met when you went into the magical world that ride in to aid the hero. Now, in this case, I do believe the hero is the president
Oh, this is from Synchronicity.
and his allies. Who are the allies that are going to ride in to save the day?
You see, he just said that this stuff doesn't happen in real life, and now he's telling you that it's going to happen in real life. The president was dead, right? He was done. But now there's hope.
I believe that's the people. And when I say the people, I'm also talking about many, many people in all different levels of positions of power. To me, if you look at it from a strictly practical perspective, this is the most asinine thing they ever tried to do, to overthrow this country, thinking they're not going to get any pushback, thinking that the people that have grown up pledging allegiance to the flag, red.
Yeah, so Donald Trump is the hero in this story, and he's still going to pull out a victory somehow. He's still going to get another 4 years, right? He's still going to be our president. This is delusional hopium nonsense.
White and blue all the way. They're just going to stand down. And where are you going to find the staff to arrest all these people? Where are you going to find the staff to herd people off to an MK Ultra re-education camp?
Oh,
You're not.
It's MK
There's
Ultra.
not enough people. I was told many years ago in my dreams, there's not enough people to hold the guns, and there won't.
He's been pushing mass arrests for how many years now? Now he said there's not going to be enough people to make the arrests.
It's never going to happen. You can't create these things anymore because it requires the consent of the governed. Government requires the consent of the governed. Okay?
He's a screenwriting expert. Now he's a government and legal expert, right?
Therefore, what we're seeing right now is something that they're trying to do, but it's like a pathetic fantasy. It will never be possible. Nobody would ever go along with it. And there's so many people from all over the world. And look at what's happening. Allies come in at the beginning of the third act to save the day. We got allies coming in from foreign countries. We got the talisman. Now we know how it was done. What was the computer that it flowed through, that it happened out of this one country starting with an I in Rome. This is huge. These are foreign countries coming in. These are allies that you make at the beginning of the second act. The allies come in. The hero has to appear to be dead for 5 pages again. Jesus is just one of many examples. Every film does this, but him dying on the cross and then being resurrected is the Jesus version of the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell, an investigative mythologist, said that there are many, many other examples of this from all different cultures around the world. And they all, interestingly, seem to be correlated with this concept of the change into a new reality. I've been talking about ascension for so many years. You've heard me talk about this. I've told you life on Earth is going to change so dramatically you will not believe it. There's going to be all these things that will be exposed, these dark, ugly truths that are going to come to light. You're going to learn about all this stuff. It's going to be very shocking, but it also paves the way for real freedom, because if these people ever get defeated, which I think is going to happen, there's literally trillions of dollars of money that they stole that is going to be released back to the people. Multi-billion-dollar prosperity packages.
Yeah, I'm sorry, friends. I did it again. Thank you. Yeah, so he can't even keep his story straight, because earlier he said that Italy was going to, interfere with the election and the Pope, and now he's saying that they're all going to come to Trump's aid. And he's somehow equating Donald Trump with Jesus Christ. And that's offensive, Mr. Spiritual Guru, to anybody that's not That's a Christian. If you're a Christian, somebody comparing Donald Trump to Jesus is offensive. You're supposed to be a spiritual guru, and you just offended. How many Christians are there on planet Earth? Because you offended all of them with that ridiculous statement.
Is designed to rebuild infrastructure, create jobs, renew our infrastructure, renew our lives, give us clean water, healthy organic food that is not going to kill you slowly, products that are made for your medical health to actually be.
Again, more hopium. This dark cabal is going to be defeated, and we're going to live in a I don't know, some kind of Trump utopia. We're all going to get clean water and clean food, and yeah, right. From the president that has done more to destroy the atmosphere and ease regulations on pollution, we're going to get some kind of Trump utopia on Earth and clean water. How are we getting clean water on the president that supported fracking and the oil industry more than any other president in U.S. history? You asshole. Your statements make no sense. You can't say that Trump is going to give us some kind of Earth utopia when he's done so much to pollute the world.
Healthy, not this pharmacidal stuff, right? A world in which we have forbidden technology that gets released.
Here it is again. They're all hiding the free energy and the anti-gravity from us, and we're going to get it any day now. I'm going to build hover cars.
Very important. Gravitational repulsion, anti-gravity. It's been hidden from us, but it exists. Limitless over unity free energy. You buy a car, you never have to go get gas because it's always going to.
Again, all this is hopium garbage.
Drive. Whatever it is that you own, you never have to fill it up again. Or maybe after 100,000 miles, you have to charge the battery or something. It depends on what we use. So anti-gravity, free energy, as I said before, medical technology devices, most of the things that we're dying from, we don't need to ever suffer with. All of those things can be cured.
You see,
or at least greatly reduced with technology that's classified.
All of this is hopium garbage. We're going to get a new utopia with clean energy and free energy, right? And clean water, and you won't have to pay for gas anymore to fuel your car, right? He's catering to stupid people that are hopeless right now. And that's deplorable for a so-called spiritual guru to be doing.
And then we also have a garbage processing thing. Elizabeth, do you want to just remind everybody real quick?
All right, I got to stop it here. He goes on to talk about some device they saw where you throw garbage in and it creates clean water out of garbage. And that's a good way to end our coverage of his latest bullshit, because David Wilcock's entire stream is full of garbage. This is garbage. David Wilcock's information is garbage. David Wilcock's value to the world, right? The value he offers people for all the money that he is taking in is garbage. David Wilcock, as far as a human being goes, is garbage. He's a garbage human. No spiritual guru would go and compare Trump to Jesus Christ. No spiritual guru would go online and claim that the Pope got arrested for child trafficking without proof or evidence. But he just did that because he's a garbage human being. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm allowed to have an opinion, right? I'm allowed to think somebody's a garbage human being. But I'm going to pray for David Wilcock. In fact, I'm going to pray right now. The Great Spirit, Great Source, God, whatever your understanding is of the Divine Spirit, we pray that David Wilcock will stop lying every day. We pray that David Wilcock will find something new to do with his life that will actually offer value to the world. We pray that he will stop taking donations from stupid people and living a millionaire's lifestyle, wasting people's hard-earned money on frivolous things like $1 million log cabin that he's purchasing. We pray that David Wilcock will stop collecting super chat donations, supposedly for a charity, and not letting everybody know where the money that's being funneled into that charity gets spent. We pray this in God's name. Amen. I truly believe, friends, that there is a road to redemption for all men. And as harsh as I am with this guy, I truly hope that he finds his. It must be a terrible thing to go, I have to wake up today and make up or find a bunch of lies to share with stupid people so that I can live a millionaire's lifestyle, selling people garbage and bullshit. Yeah. So I pray, friends, I pray for David Wilcock to stop lying to people, right? I pray that he's going to get something. I pray that he's going to get something. He's going to find something new to do that will actually offer some value to the human race. All right, and I'm previewing this video, and I think it's about David Wilcock being a reptilian alien. You know what we're gonna do? We can play this out I don't even know if we want to go there. Yeah, I don't think we want to go there. We're gonna take some comments and questions from the live chat, and we're gonna wrap things up here. Yes, I agree with you. Fracking is harmful to the environment. So how's a president that eased restrictions on all that, who encouraged all of that? How is that not a problem, right? How is the guy who has done the worst for the Earth's environment as a president going to help us have clean water and clean air and live in some utopia? This is the level of garbage that David Wilcock pushes. You can't have it both ways, friends. You just can't have it both ways. Brandon Young says, I hope he is sequestered to being condemned to a lifetime of making crazy videos. Yeah. I think it's somebody saying I'm going full Chandler. Is that because I'm praying for the man while I'm calling him a liar? Yeah, I do that. I listen, you can say whatever you want about me. I truly do believe that every man deserves a road to redemption. And I hope he finds his, because come on, David Wilcock, is this what you're offering the world? You just spent 3 hours regurgitating completely, totally false information, disproven theories made that basically that's all wild speculation with no factual information backing it up, no citable sources, no reputable sources, garbage. It's all garbage. And you just spent 3 hours delivering that, repeating that garbage to the world, right? And meanwhile, friends, he got thousands of dollars. I counted a little bit in his live chat. He got thousands of dollars in money. Free money, apparently tax-free money. He doesn't even have to pay income tax on any of that money. When I get a donation, I have to pay income tax on it, right? Oh, did he end with crying? V, did he end with crying? I got to fast forward. I didn't see that far. Did he end with crying? We'll end with the crying then. That's a better way to go out. Can somebody get me a time? If he did end with crying, can we, in this one, can we get a timestamp? The meditation I skipped over because it's stupid. I'm sorry, friends. I'm waiting to see if he cries. Oh, he does cry. All right. He does cry. We're going to end with the crying. He cries again at the end of this one. Let's again, we're going to cite fair use. This is a transformative work. Gosh, I got to put that banner back up. This is my fair use banner. We're going to share him crying. Because, yeah, that's his go-to now. Cry at the end of the video. Maybe he gets more donations when he cries. I don't know why he cries so much. But he does cry a lot in his streams.
And we ask you to have compassion for us, to have compassion for our lives.
See, I just said
We
I had
deserve to be
compassion for
alive.
him.
We deserve to live in peace.
It's terrible. Deserve to live in peace, David
We
Wilcock.
affirm our protection. We affirm our trust in a goodness that supersedes flesh, that is not ruled by powers and principalities, but by the grand, true vision of unity and oneness, that all are worthy of love and respect, kindness and compassion. For where we go one, we go all.
Like a sheep.
And so it is. All right, well, I'm crying now. I got tears in my eyes. Thank you for participating with me in this. I'm not going to.
You're welcome, David
My
Wilcock.
channel is not taken away. I will continue speaking to you when reasonable, as much as I can. Try to keep you in the loop on what's going on. And don't forget to buy one of these.
Yeah, buy a shortwave
ASU
radio for when the
VX6R.
internet goes down. Come on.
And I will be speaking to you guys very soon. Sorry I lost it there. That probably damaged your meditation a little bit. I apologize.
Yeah, you damaged my
I'm
meditation.
David Wilcock. Elizabeth, you have any last words before we sign off here? We're keeping it on 3 hours.
I would just say stay strong in the goodness of your heart and stay in the state of love and don't
Okay.
allow these things to move you or make you too angry. So it's important that we have numbers of people that are still staying in the good heart. Yeah, and thank you.
That's some good new age bullshit, Elizabeth.
Thank you, everybody. And this is David Wilcock and Elizabeth Wilcock. And we will see you next time. Please continue your prayers as the days go on.
We got to pray.
Even if I'm not doing more videos, please continue to have loving, peaceful thoughts for yourself and for others. Understand that these shadow influences will also be trying to destabilize your personal life, your relationships, to get you impatient, to get you angry, to get you fighting, to get you divorcing. I've heard lots and lots of crazy stories of what people are going through right now in their relationships. So please, it is just as important that we collectively treat each other well in our personal lives.
Okay, David.
If we want to see this planetary emergency solved. Thank you for watching.
There's a planet-wide
We'll see you
emergency?
soon, and let's hope for the best.
There's his fake teeth. He ends with a big shot of his big fake teeth. If those teeth were expensive, he should be showing them off, right? God. So he cried again at the end of his stream. Oh, all around arbiter. These people are idolaters. Yeah. You know, she's the dom in the relationship. I think so. And I think she likes strap-ons. And I think he does too. Right? Sounds like he has a projection on their marriage. Yeah, that's another Freudian slip, right? Or something from his subconscious. Oh, the Don Crazeface says, I can cry on cue. Ask my lady. Yeah, friends. So let me get this banner out of the way here. Yeah. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I think we found a better way to do this time. And this is the way I'm going to be doing it going forward, covering this clown. I'm not going to sit from beginning to end and you know, cover 3 hours. I'll just preview it, timestamp the good parts, which are really the bad parts for our purposes. But it's nice to see that he's listening to our show. And I have it on good authority that he listens to every one of our shows that's about him. You know, I hear he's quite the narcissist. And Googles himself constantly to see what people are saying about him. That, my friends, that makes sense to me, given what I know about him and his narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not a psychiatrist, but just from my own understanding of psychology and, you know, read a few books, it seems like pretty high likelihood that he suffers from some kind of situation. You know, it is what it is. You know, but what gets me is that this guy is, you know, what's going on? We get no thumbs downs today. Not one. I'm impressed, right? Not one thumbs down today, but we got 31 thumbs up. So thank you to the 31 people. Someone else mentioned previously that there's only like 10 people in the live chat, but somehow there's 50 watching. So there's 40 lurkers. Listen, if you're just lurking in the live chat, we're a friendly bunch. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to say hello, chime in. Yeah. So we're going to check in with our Patreon and with our PayPal, see if we have anybody to shout out for donations while we're giving people the truth. And call me bitter, but watching David Wilcock get thousands and thousands of dollars in super chat donations just rubs me the wrong way, because he's getting thousands and thousands of super chat donations for doing things like claiming the Pope got arrested for child trafficking when he didn't. He's getting thousands and thousands of super chat donations for lying to people or spreading false information. That's the quality. That's the quality of, his so-called information. It's garbage, friends. It's garbage. So I reason that if David Wilcock can have people send him money for lying, I should be allowed to have people send me money when we're trying to cover these things and bring people the truth, right? I'd like to say we are the second red pill here. Some of these people think they're woke, right? And then they listen to all of this garbage and they never peel back any of the layers of deception. They never dig a little deeper to find out that these so-called information sources that they have been following are garbage. They're just garbage, friends. Just total garbage. I don't know what else to say about that. So we'll put our begging bowl out. We have both a PayPal donate button and also a Patreon. So we need your financial support to continue the show. Please consider a PayPal donation or becoming a Patreon supporter. Patreon people get many benefits, one of them being the Mind Hack Project, which I will be adding to this month. Let me put that back up. So we're going to be adding to the Mind Hack Project this month. You get that on Patreon. We do a monthly audio journal, sort of behind the stage pass of what's going on with the show behind the scenes. You also get access to my operating system, Altos, which is a Linux-based operating system that I have been developing for quite some time. And one second, folks, I'm just going to do something here. Got a little housekeeping to do. Okay. 1 second. I'm just cleaning up my desktop because I'm a little concerned that this may crash the system, but I don't think that it will. So actually, let me go to another desktop before I do. Oh, no, I can't do that. All right. I was going to share. Actually, let me do this. One moment, friends. Just bear with me because I'm going to. This is a lot of firsts for our show today. First of all, this is our first show running from this used iMac that I was able to purchase. I want to thank once again the Patreon supporters and the PayPal donators, because on the real, given the current health crisis and my lack of income from other sources, I would be unable to purchase this much needed piece of equipment to run the show from. But thanks to the generosity and support of the Patreon people and the PayPal donators, I was able to get exactly what we needed in the form of an older used 27-inch iMac. I'm not a fan of Apple or OS X, but these screens are beautiful. And so I just wiped OS X off of it and put Windows and Linux on it. And I'm happy to say that I'm happy to say that this is also a first for us, because the first show, this is the first show that we're running on this new iMac, but it's also the first show that we're running from Altos, which comes with your Patreon support. You get you get it free. You can just download it, and it comes with thousands of different programs. It's basically based on Linux, but it's Altos, also called the alternative operating system, or a Linux terminal on steroids, ALTOS. I've been using this for years. It's my own personal development system. It's packed, friends, packed with applications. It's packed with graphics applications, video applications, software synthesizers, audio editors, anything, animation programs, anything that you need to do can be done with this. Now, I'm a little leery about sharing my entire screen here, but we're going to try it. We're going to try it. Now, it's going to go wonky for a second, so please bear with me. No, I'm sorry about that. I got thrown out of my own stream. Apparently, because I'm running the 3D desktop, I can't share the screen, and I can't disable it right now. So we'll do sharing about Altos in the future. I am running it. It's running great right now. Not sure why I can't share my screen to show you the desktop, but I'm going to work on that. I should have tried it offline before we tried to run with this, right? One of my lights got wonked too, so there we go. All right, I am gonna share something about the Mind Hack project. Comes free with Patreon supporters as well, and it's a personal development system, including binaural beats, hypnotic inductions, guided meditations, positive affirmations, subliminal messages embedded into music and audio tracks, and also a great deal of just general advice and positive speaking, right? Motivational speaking. This is a little bit about the Mind Hack project, and you get that free with becoming a Patreon supporter. And we'll be adding to the Mind Hack project a few tracks this month. Here's a little bit of information about the Mind Hack project. One second, let me drop that banner. There we go. Here's a little bit of information about that project that you get free with Patreon.
What if it was possible to learn how to hack or program your own mind? The truth is, your mind has already been programmed and controlled by others for years. But this is how you break free. This is how you learn to program your own mind and finally take control of your destiny. This is how you break that bondage. This is how you learn to hack your own mind and learn to finally be free. Welcome to Mind Hack. The Mind Hack system includes guided meditations, binaural beats for each brain state, motivational speaking, hypnotic inductions, and much, much more. The Mind Hack system puts you back in control. The Mind Hack system helps you reach your goals. The Mind Hack system helps you manifest your dreams into reality. By finally taking control of your own mind, you will learn to focus and take control of your own infinite potential. Welcome to Mind Hack.
And there you go. If that sounds like something that you would benefit from, I highly encourage you to sign up for Patreon. We're not selling a $333 course here. It's $1. It's $1. It's $1 a month to be a Patreon supporter, less than a good cup of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, and I never get takeout drinks. So I don't, well, once in a while I get a soda, right, for $1.50 or something if I'm eating fast food, which is very rare lately. But I don't even know what a good cup of coffee costs, but it costs more than $1, a good cup of coffee, I would think. So, yeah, you can get that for $1 a month or more. You don't have to just pay $1. It's $1 or more a month, whatever you decide. Some people are giving $10 a month on Patreon, and God bless all those people, but bless everyone, including those just giving $1. And bless you people. Oh yeah, we do have new Patreon supporters to shout out. So my notifications went off though. I can't get to my notifications. We always make it a point to shout out. Okay, I want to make sure. Also, give some shout outs. We didn't do any shout outs today. So Paranormal Hood Live is here. Jenna Hamilton is here. And Jenna asked based on Debian. Yeah, actually, well, it's based on Ubuntu, which is based on off the Ubuntu Debian build. So you can use Debian dead packages, and it's 100 gigabytes, Jenna Hamilton, 100 gigabytes of software, most of which is focused around creative people. So if you're a video editor, writer, graphic artist, animator, if you do, you're trying to make movies, if you like synthesizers, you'll love it. There's tons of synthesizer stuff included in that. So shout out to Jenna Hamilton. Must be a Linux user. Nice to see you. And well, we have Greg Van G is here. V is here. Andrew Vale is here. Oh, so newest Patreon supporter. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You have my support. Bailey Stoner is our latest Patreon supporter. She's been a patron for 12 hours. So I'm sorry we're late in getting to you to thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Your support really does help to keep the show rolling. I like your avatar. Yeah. And she says, you may need a virus scan after watching all that contagious bullshit Wilcock was spewing. Yeah. No, it has something to do with the 3D desktop. StreamYard doesn't like to share the whole screen when I've got 12 screens. It gets confused. So I have to figure out how to fix that. But thank you so much, Bailey Stoner, our newest Patreon supporter. And let me see if we can get an There we go. Sorry about that, friends. This is a live show. You get it, warts and all. Sometimes these weird things are going to happen. So I apologize for, maybe I do run. We don't get viruses. I'm running on Linux. But maybe it's inadvisable to run a professional show on an alpha operating system that hasn't been tested before you do it. And that's what I did today. I just ran with, I'm having some issues with the audio in Windows right now, and everything seemed to be working when before I started the broadcast. I did a few tests running here on Linux, and honestly, I work in Linux more than any other operating system, so I prefer to keep doing that, right? The cough button got stuck again. Yeah, maybe. So, so I want to thank the most recent Patreon supporters and thank those that have donated on PayPal or any other donations. Every bit does really help. It does really help to, keep the lights on and keep the show going forward. Doing our best here. Yes, Michael, get with me. Let's do that this week. Can we do it this week? How about Thursday night? Thursday night. Stephen Ronan says, I have so little interest in Wilcock. I just come to the streams for the goss and drama in the chat. Yeah, it's kind of fun to do that. I think that it's really reached a point where there's no value in anything he talks about other than laughing at him. Oh, wait, let's see. Greer, that shyster needs a month of shows. Yeah. Yeah. So I was giving shout outs. Let me try to do that again before we end the broadcast. Stephen Ronan is here. Shout out to Prank Magic, Bailey Stoner, Michael, Charles Williamson, Jonaside is here. If I miss anybody, I apologize. I'm just going through the chat here. Moody Mongol is here. Charles Williamson, Andrew Vale, Jenna Hamilton, V is here. Paranormal Hood is here. Ryan Gable was here from our Facebook chat. Shout out to Ryan Gable from The Secret Teachings. Highly recommend you check out his podcast. And I think, it's funny because we're supposed to, at the highest point, we have like 70 people watching, and there's not many people in the live chats. We must have quite a number of lurkers, right? Is that all my haters, right? Like the David Wilcock supporters? I don't know. But viewers are viewers. So even the haters, I'm happy to have them, right? Stephen Ronan says, I still listen to Kerry and Miles and that Magic Fella because they are entertaining at least. Jenna Hamilton's talking about Linux. Yeah, get with me off air. Follow me on Twitter. Send me a DM, Jenna Hamilton. I'd like to hear about your Linux adventures and invite you to try my version before you distro hop for a year trying to find a good distribution. Yeah, maybe. David Wilcock sent 40 bots to record your stream for later so you couldn't figure out all of them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are now 6 away from hitting the magic monetized numbers. So there's supposed to be 38 people watching. I'm going to do the pitch for the like, comment, and subscribe now, right? Please like, comment, and subscribe. We only need 6 more people to hit the magic monetized YouTube numbers, which was my goal when I originally started this show. We're up to almost 100 shows that I've done without being monetized. David Wilcock is monetized for selling lies. I'm not monetized for trying to bring people the truth. So if you want to help me get right with the universe and realize that truth really does matter more than lies and garbage, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Help us to spread the show. If there's people that you know that need that second red pill or that would be interested in what we talk about, please do copy our channel address, send it to them, tell them to subscribe. We only need 6 more people Really, we need a little bit more than that because I got to have a buffer before I start doing that paperwork and stuff to get us monetized. I'm hopeful that that will take place shortly, right? I would really appreciate if 6 more people, I'm going to put it out to the universe. Please, God, source, help me find, well, more than 6. Help me find 26 more people so we get a little bit of a buffer. We have hit, more than hit the watch time numbers. We're at like 4,500 hours of watch time. We only need 4,000 hours of watch time. And the watch time doesn't go down, but once in a while, 10 streamers or subs drop off. So we got to have a buffer before I do all the paperwork. Really only need about 25, 26 more people to subscribe. And then I can send in the paperwork. And within a few short weeks, I'm going to be able to take super chat donations for telling people the truth. Just like these people that are taking thousands of dollars in super chat donations for lying through their fake fucking teeth to people, right? There's got to be some balance in the universe. And if David Wilcock can make thousands of dollars in a live stream for lying through his fake fucking teeth for 3 hours, giving people garbage information that has no value at all, then I should be allowed to take super chat donations trying to bring people something that has value in the form of truth, in the form of evidence, right? In the form of real citable sources, in the form of real research to get to the truth behind these things. I believe that the universe is fair and balanced. Eventually, things get out of whack. For a while, these cosmic con men grifters have had it real good, right? They've been able to run around selling their garbage, bullshit, fairy tale nonsense, right? For years. I think that other people should be able to at least make a part-time income or a part-time living. Thank you, Jasmine Emmerich. Jasmine Emmerich, shout out to Jasmine Emmerich. She is here. If I missed anybody in the live chat, I apologize. I try to scroll all the way back, make sure I got everybody. I think that I did. I mentioned Pragmagic, Steve Ronan, Jonasai, Charles Williamson, Bailey Stoner, V, Paranormal Hood, Michael, Ryan Gable, again, Jonasai. Jonasai's always here, though, right? Where's Mrs. Jonasai? Jonasai? Andrew Vale, if I didn't mention him already. Yeah. So, and I can't only go so far back because I got booted earlier. And I apologize for the technical issues, but the new computer is working great, except for it's probably not advisable to run a professional show broadcasting from an alpha test operating system that you're still developing and fixing bugs on, right? Oh, Jonaside says she's next to me listening. Well, shout out to Mrs. Jonaside then. Hello, Mrs. Jonaside. So please do, friends, send this channel address to some people today. That would be extremely helpful. And a lot of people have sent me messages like, hey, you know, I'm out of work right now, or I would become a Patreon supporter. I don't care. If you really think that you would like the Patreon benefits and you can't spare $1, brother, because I know how it is. Can you spare $1, brother? It is rough out there. If you really think that if you're a big fan of the show and you're really in a bad situation financially, don't hesitate. Email me at truthseekershow@gmail.com, right? You can email me and I'll still send you the benefits without you giving me the $1, you know? It's more important to me that we develop a good community full of good people here than to get your $1. Right. And I totally realize I'm in the same situation. After COVID, my income went to nothing. Just total financial disaster, devastation. Right. And I'm trying my best to try to come up with something that I can do from home and still generate a little bit of income. And so far, it's slowly building steam and working out. My point is this. If you are a big fan of the show and you're out of work or in reduced circumstances, don't hesitate. Contact me at truthseekershow@gmail.com. I'll send you all the links of the stuff that's on Patreon. I don't want that to be, I don't want people, there's stuff here that's behind a paywall, but first of all, it's only $1 paywall. It's not like $333 for a course, right? Even though there's a course included in our Patreon, a personal development course. My point is, I don't like putting things behind a paywall, especially for people that are big fans or supporters of the show. If you can't spare a dollar, brother, I hear you. Message me, and there's other ways you can help me. You can post these videos on social media. You can send the channel address to everybody in your friends and family list or on your contact list and say, this guy's really trying to do good things. Help him out and subscribe. There's other ways you can help me. And the best way right now that you can help me is to get over this monetization. We got to get to the money. I'm just trying to climb the money mountain to get to the money. Do you know why? Because praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank God Almighty. It is my intention I'm putting out into the world that people all over the world will value what I do here and send me money. They are going to throw bucket loads of money at me as soon as we get up the money mountain and are able to stand at the top and catch the money. We just got to get to the catching the money. I'm trying to get to the point where I can catch the money. Praise the cash, Almighty God. Praise the cash. AI algorithm gods, please find favor and help us get over this hump and become monetized so that I too can collect the cash. Praise the cash, amen. Amen, brother. Praise the cash. That's what we got to do. We're just trying to get to the cash. So please do like and share these videos on your social media. Please do like and share these videos in emails to friends, right? Help us get praise the cash. I got to praise the cash algorithm. Absolutely. Miss Jonaside, I am praising the cash because I could use the cash, right? Pragmagic. Oh, yeah. Here's another thing. There's 42 people watching right now. Pragmagic does great work, right? And as much as I'm complaining that I'm not monetized, there's people in, with lower counts than me that are doing, I think, better shows and getting fucked, right? They're not getting any money, right? So there's 42 people watching live now on YouTube and some on Twitch and some on Facebook Live. Go on over to YouTube and help my friend Pragmagic. Subscribe to him. Check out his Patreon. Hope he can get a bump. There's 42 people. If 20 of you went over there and, subscribe to him, it might make a difference in his analytics and his search engine. And we're all just out here struggling, trying to make something happen. Pragmagic being one of them. He has my full support. Yeah, Michael, Pragmagic, I think you're a moderator. You can put your channel address in the chat so that people can subscribe. If not, can Out of Mind or Jonaside or somebody get Pragmagic's YouTube channel address and put it in the live chat. Oh, there he goes. Pragmagic did it. So there you go. Yeah. Or you can just search for Pragmagic with a K on YouTube and find him. And yeah. And he says, oh, thanks, truly. Yeah, you have my support. All of us got to stick together. We're out here trying to, struggle and make something happen and make something grow. And I say this all the time, and I truly mean it. I am coming here, and I'm putting the work in. I am watering this garden, for surely, if I just continue to put the work in and water this garden, surely this garden will grow. That is the intention I'm putting out into the world. They say you reap what you sow, right? And I'm still in the phase of sowing, and I'm going to sow all of these seeds of my creativity, my form. It's a strange form of entertainment sometimes, but I'm sowing these seeds, right? Using the creative abilities, these gifts that I have been given to try to bring some form of value to the world that the world will recognize has value and reward me for that, and then I shall be able to reap what I have sown. I'm here. I'm putting the time in. I'm sowing the seeds. Thank you all so much for being here. Someday I hope we talk about the early days of this show when we really struggled to get 10 people to be watching. The numbers are jumping up lately. I think that we're on track to do much better than we have in the past, and I'm thankful for that. 1 second, let me get this thing off of there. Yeah, so I always say this, friends. I am always happy when there's an audience. I have done rock shows when I was younger where you practiced for 6 weeks and then you showed up to the show and there was nobody there but the drummer's girlfriend. And I was such a loser. I didn't have a girlfriend, but the drummer did. She was the only one in the audience. It's a terrible thing to work very hard at something creative and then you show up and there's no audience. I've been very fortunate and there's usually an audience. And today we had a great audience. Thank you so very much, friends, all of you, sincerely for being a part of mine. Until next time, friends, I'm Stephen Cambion, reminding you that sometimes the truth is ugly, but it's still always worth having. Good night, friends.